in all seriousness, I loved the book.
Thanks, man.
It gave me some peace for those 2 or 3 days I was reading it.
Cool.
And it's on the shelf in the other room. I'll have it forever.
Thoughts of rape were
you,
far
man.
from his mind.
Yes, it took me. Those books were all about escapism, and
I have it. So I often daydream about how I'd get by in prison. Not well, by the way. Was reading books a way for you to not get yourself in trouble, to self-isolate? Because that might be something that works.
It was a big part of it. I felt like if I was sitting in my bunk with a book,
who could
not
hate
only
that?
would know what's that?
Who could hate that, right? Like,
who could hate that? Because like you might have this idea, like maybe not, that like somebody's gonna be like, look at the bookworm, but it's not high school. We're all locked the fuck down. All right. So like the toughest cholo, the meanest gangbanger, like you can I literally, like, my best buddy was like a Texas cholo, fucking meth dealing, murdering 45-year-old man. And we were working out one day, and I told him, he's like, yo, what you been reading in your bunk? Look, that's a thick book. And I'm like, that's Harry Potter, man. Yeah, is it good? I was like, it's pretty good. This kid, he grows up and he's a wizard, but he doesn't know it. And then he finds out, and he gets to go into this magical world of witchcraft and wizardry, and he finds out that he's pretty important to the whole world. Oh, that sounds tight. You mind if I start on book 1? You on like 3? Yeah, man.
I can't believe I never heard of this book before.
He hasn't, because he's been locked up for 20 fucking years. He doesn't know about Harry Potter.
So, he doesn't know about Harry Potter.
So literally, I'm loaning this scary motherfucker Harry Potter, and I see him over there reading Harry Potter book 1, a page an hour or something like that.
Oh, God.
And he's like, it's a little hard to read, And I'm thinking, like, I read that shit when I was 10 or something, man. But I don't say that. I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of words in there, and pages.
Very dense and complicated Harry Potter.
So the Muggles are like the Latin kings.
You should have done the machine thing and reused everybody's jokes.
Jews, right? They don't want nobody to get the money.
Man, I'm wanting to read this goblin stuff. This is far be it from me to accuse someone of bigotry, but this lady, she's a little anti-Semitic. Why come the only ones who are goblins are like the banker? I'm just saying.
So yeah, no, it was definitely a way to self-isolate and like really be to myself, because I felt like maybe if I've got a book in front of me, maybe I just won't get approached for anything, including rape, or like
someone with both hands around a book has no hands left for prison gay sex.
I don't know. It was just like, I'm here doing my own thing. Leave me alone. And but yeah, it was a little bit of
the thought of
escapism.
prisoners thinking that you're really smart because you're reading Harry Potter and Stephen King up there and calling you the professor. Man, that's a professor. You got a problem in here? You ask him, man. He's got it all figured out.
Was any of it this? And this is a bigger Woody issue than Kyle issue. I feel like every minute I talk to these guys is a minute that I am risking saying the wrong thing. Right? And if I just read, then I don't fuck anything up. Maybe not your thoughts.
No, I feel like I'm good at that for whatever reason. Like I can read the room pretty well, and like I let them do a lot of the talking to like see what level of like, are we going to talk about criminal shit? Are you a racist? And if so, which races do you hate? I need to know that going in.
Me too.
Mirror it.
Yeah.
And then you mirror it. Yeah. Like it or not.
Like at the doctor's office, they give you a clipboard and the pen and pencil, and you got to fill it out and hand it in so they know.
I have a newfound disgust for Venezuelans.
Yeah, for real. Like Cubans, no good. No good. We don't like the Cubans. Like you find out right away. Snow did not like Cubans. Snow did not like black people. But he would. Oh God. We would be walking. There's a big like track. Like
Snow's
you have
a
it
tough guy.
And Snow's so tough. So and like he would do chin ups with like medicine balls in a bag that he clipped onto his waist, just fucking cranking them out. Like every quarter mile we'd walk or jog, he'd crank a bunch more out. Anyway, and he was just like, the blacks, they got a word. They don't like you to call them that. And I'm like,
oh,
yeah, no, man. I think everyone knows, you know, the word. It's and I see him winding up to drop an N-bomb, you know, like he's winding up to drop a big fat one, and I'm looking around like there's so many big black guys around us, and he drops it hard, and I'm just like, yeah, I've heard that word before. Yeah, I'm aware they don't like that. Yeah, it's, and then he just goes, bigger, you know, bigger. They don't like that when you say it to them. When you like, hey, bigger, and they hate it. And I'm just like, stop. Please stop.
Oh my God, horrifying.
I'm not down. Like he's always ready to fight or do whatever needs to be done. Like I just want to do my 60 days. I just want to escape.
Yeah. Doesn't it become like it's just your life at that point? Like you have these preconceived notions of what it would be like to be locked up like that. And you've seen movies and people have talked about it that hadn't experienced it. But then when you're actually you in there and they're shutting the door on you and whatnot, doesn't it? I'm not going to say it's easier, but it's you, and you're just in another situation that you have to get through. It's not a special anything different magically. It's just still a bad situation that you need to get through.
Yeah, to me, it was about setting a schedule and finding a few things that were like creature comforts that would like that would kill X amount of hours every 24 hours. It was like having the day planned out in segments that would eat that day up.
That's why when they talk about the death penalty versus life in prison, and they say, well, at least he'll be suffering in prison. It's like, I understand there's no freedom and everything, but people are very adaptable. It just becomes your new life. Like that's now what you do.
Yeah.
And,
I think I'd rather die.
You're not 24 hours a day going, oh my God, I'm suffering in prison. Like you'll laugh, you'll talk to people, you'll have a good time, even though your freedoms have been taken away. But I don't think it's as bad as the death penalty. Or
that's how I felt about working in an office. Like,
yeah, exactly. There are some jobs that are that bad.
Yeah, where I was, definitely I would prefer that over the death penalty because it's low security. You know, there was a medium security prison like on the same facility, like we called it up the hill because you could like see it. It's up on the hill, and it's where I went initially to like get like stripped down and put in my prison jumpsuit and all that jazz, do my paperwork, and they would have stabbings and killings and like legit gang activity going on up there, and they would threaten you with that. They're like, you know, you fuck up here, you go up there. And I saw 2 or 3 guys fuck up at the low and get sent up there. And it's like, he ain't gonna make it.
Is there also like is there a prestige in being able to make it? I used to play B League hockey, right? And some of those guys would do well in A League hockey. And it was like, yeah he's playing with us, but only because he prefers Sundays to Tuesdays. Yeah.
Well, there's a couple different classes. So there's a couple different like experience levels. Like we're all like RPG characters in this little low security prison. Some of us, like me, did a real not so serious thing, and that's why we're there. But some of the guys did 10 or 15 at a high security or a medium security and earned their way down.
Oh,
but they're like that fucking rescue dog that has seen some shit. You could tell, like he'll live in your house and he'll get along with your regular puppy, but he's this far away from fucking ripping a throat out and shitting on the carpet.
On top that baby shakes the rattle a little too violently. Face coming off.
Does that put him like? Do people give that a certain kind of respect? Like. You know, don't fuck with. You poke that guy one time and he'll rip your face off.
You could tell who you didn't want to fuck with. Like they were physically bigger. They just had a look about them, and oftentimes they were in positions of power within like the you know, they ran the laundry. Like he's the boss of all the laundry. He writes the schedule. He chooses who gets hired. Don't fuck with that guy. And sure enough, that guy had been down, as they say, for nearly 20 years, and he was not a nice man. You know, he's the one I had the shouting match with over the televisions.
By shouting match,
television.
By shouting match, Kyle means being shouted at.
Yeah. I shouted back. No, I shouted back because I felt like I couldn't be completely punked out. Now I did change the channel back to where he wanted it. I will fully admit that, but I didn't completely bitch out.
Man, you don't change that back to Telemundo, I'm gonna rape you.
That was the thing.
I want you to know I'm doing this under protest.
Yes, but only because I also want to learn spin.
It was like, this is the white people TV, dude. Like,
Shit.
like, and that's a thing. Like, there was ESPN, Black People TV, Mexican People TV, White People's TV. We had 4 TVs, the way I recall it.
Wow.
And I'm not touching that Black People TV. You get some
very
shit. They
simple.
thought.
Watch Frasier.
Simple and straightforward.
Yeah, they should have labels above it.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't need
Just
the
different
labels.
colored
Look
duct
at who's
tape.
sitting in front of it. Look at who's sitting in front of it. You'll figure it out real quick. And what's on it? The Black people are watching fucking VH1, a bunch of like Black housewives with big asses and titties hanging out, like talking. It's like Basketball Wives and shit like that. And the white guys are watching the fucking History Channel over there, or CNN, and the Mexican guys are watching either Telemundo or fucking some. It's oftentimes a soap opera, because like Mexican soap operas have so much sex and so much titties.
I'm actually curious, because what would happen? Listen to this lineup. You got a History Channel, or who knows what's on it, and big Black basketball wife, whatever. Can I sit there? Am I allowed?
You can sit, absolutely. You can sit wherever you want. Oftentimes, Black guys would slide over with us, and he'd be like, "Hey, what are you watching?" And I'm like, it's this shit about the guy who invented Hershey's chocolate. It's History Channel. It's like the history of like American products. I'm like, this is the motherfucker that invented cornflakes. And he's like, God damn, I love cornflakes. He like tunes his headset in to like learn about, and me and this Black guy who's like scary as fuck learn about cornflakes that day.
I might turn that brownie into an Oreo just by sitting there.
Yeah.
There's
no issue. You could sit wherever you wanted. I actually, as long
Not
as
quite
there's
wherever
room.
you wanted.
As long as there's room, because there is assigned seating. Not only there's assigned spots, which is where the chair goes, and there are assigned chairs, and they're very different things.
Wow.
Now, he's not going to take your chair, but he will take your fucking spot that the chair is in. You'll be sitting in your chair in this spot, and he'll be like, "It's my spot," and I'm like, No, see, this is my chair. It's got my number on it. See, it's the one that has the pentagram on the back. Literally did. It's got the pentagram and 666 underneath it. He's like, yeah, but that's my spot. Your chair is in. Like, all right, well, I guess I'll scoot.
Like,
what am I gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Wow, that's
the guy was a bank robber.
I'll have you know, I ordered a small amount of marijuana.
What was the actual?
So tread carefully.
What did you say to people when they like asked you what you were in?
I foolishly told them the truth.
And what was the actual
Should you
thing
have lied?
that?
Oh, go ahead.
You told people.
I should have lied.
Should have been like,
Answer
I'm in
both
here
questions.
for killing a bunch of people who did whatever you did.
So Anthony asked, what did you actually do? And I asked, why is it better to lie? Can you hit both?
Well, I told him the truth. I told him exactly what I was there for, because I thought maybe that would, they'd be like, that's bullshit, dude. Don't worry. You'll be out in 30 days. It's cool. You know, this and that. No need for me to rape you. You'll be, I don't even have enough time to teach you how to suck good dick in 60 days. You know,
you thought the prisoners would say, "Oh, you don't belong here. We're going to be
a lot." Some did. Some were like, "That's bullshit.
Yeah.
I killed a cop." You know, but like some of the what I should have said is like trafficking. I was moving like 10 pounds of methamphetamine.
Trafficking sounds good.
Trafficking.
Yeah.
I was charged with trafficking at one point. I beat the rap on that one. And not that I beat the rap. I didn't do it. I was innocent. So I said, so I told
Lawyer,
him
fuck me.
Shit, he warned me about this. So I should have said something like that was more impressive and a little more prestigious, and suggested that I was a little more hardcore than I actually was. Because what happened was, and I've told the story before, so I won't like dwell on it too much, is like they thought maybe I was part of 60 Days In. Maybe there's some kind of I'm a narc.
God, right.
I'm part of some, maybe I'm a narc or something. I'm there to like get it. So they a lot of the guys wouldn't talk around me about anything. Not that they were up to no good, but like they had knives, and not knives to hurt people, but knives to like cut up food. You're not allowed a real fucking knife to cut up an
probably
onion.
do both.
You're not allowed an onion. like the onion itself is contraband, and the knife to cut the onion is also contraband. And it was a while before I learned the hidden places where all the knives were. And there were a lot of knives hidden in like various spots. And I'd be like, hey, I really need a knife. He'd be like, yo, what kind of knife you need, Weto? He called me Weto, which means whitey, I think,
White,
in Spanish.
yeah.
Yeah, I should have said I was in for something scarier because a lot of guys thought I was a narc and didn't like me. And some of the guys, I was warned that, we lost Anthony, I think maybe.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Oh my God.
And then I had one incident where I was in my bunk reading a book, and this guy that I was friendly with, this 50, 60-year-old black guy who I had told, like, hey man, when I get out, you can have my radio and my headsets, which is like giving him $120 of prison money, essentially, which is a big deal.
It comes slowly.
Yeah, it comes real slowly. You can only use it's a whole thing. And his radio was busted, and I wasn't going to be. Who needs a fucking Walkman radio on the outside? You know what I mean? So I was like, hey man, when I leave, this is yours. And he was like super appreciative. So he comes to me one day and he's like, yo, just want to let you know there's some guys over there talking, and they want to get with you.
Oh no!
And I'm just like, excuse me? Yeah, guy over there, he said he wants to get with you. And I'm like, get with me. You know? And so that was like 2.5 weeks in or something like that, when I just started to feel comfortable with the routine and the shower and like the working out, and the sleep schedule was kind of working out. I was sleeping, a good 12 hours a day. So like half my time is in the bed. I'm out. And then I got all my books. And then there's a rape threat.
I'd like to tell you the sisters never got to cop.
Yeah.
More of an overture. I don't know if I'd call that a rape threat so much.
It was a rape warning. It was a rape warning.
Sounded like he was just coming on to
like
you.
And yes or no on a vibe.
Right. Yeah. Like I'm getting from this that he was making a pass at you.
Oh.
He was letting me know there was somebody else who was wanting to get with me, and there was talk of rape in there. There were some people who had been raped. There were some people who were like willing participants and just, like to get it on with some other dudes because we're in here for a long time and there ain't no girls. And I was just like, I don't want to get with anybody, and I'm not going to go down with a fight, but I don't want to fight. I just want to read, see how this all works out with Voldemort, and go home. All right. Like, and he was just like, I'm just letting you know. And I'm just like,
oh my God.
Fuck. I was so stressed out after that. And you can't tell anybody. Like the last thing I'd want to do in that situation is like get a guard and like, excuse me, Officer Moore, there's a bad man somewhere who wants to rape me. Like, oh God. I'd have gotten raped if I'd done that. That would have been a rape.
That's the worst part of prison. Like, that's the part that prison just seems like, oh, you hang out, you get your meals, you might have to get into a fight every so often, but like, it's the rape part that really makes people not want to go to prison.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna like build a fence next to your neighbor or something.
No,
I
don't. Oh, your innocent, naive perspective. No, it's more intense.
No, I don't like messing around with that stuff because you don't want to mess with people. When people get in property disputes with their neighbors, it's like, do you really want this? Like every day of your life, you're going to have to wake up and deal with the asshole that you may have helped create. Mm-hmm. Like those are the types of disputes you should try as hard as you can and not have a lawyer come into it. Because once you do, they're done. Like they're not going to talk to you. Your mail is going to get left in the snow. Like they're going to just walk by your mailbox like, oops, just tip it out into the snow. Your mailman screwed up. They'll plow their driveway and just leave a big pile in front of yours. And, you don't want to mess with that shit.
You just brought up like the impetus to one of the scarier shootings we've ever seen. You might know.
That was awful. I know.
We've all seen the clip here. We watched it on the show. It's so hard to watch, but essentially neighbor had been piling their snow up, shoveling their own driveway out into the other guy's like drive, and the offending party and his wife are out there screaming at this guy. Guy goes back in the house, gets a gun, and long story short, he kills them both. He kills them both in the street over that.
And it was
snow.
It was not quick, and it was not like clean and pretty. It was not just like blam blam.
Yeah,
it was rough. That's a hard video to watch, man. I hate watching that.
If I recall that video, like after he murdered them, he like went back in his house like he'd just taken trash out. Like, not even like I gotta get inside. Like, just kind of walking.
He said so. I think he's.
I hope I didn't want miss more than the commercial
like,
break.
He kept saying, "Should leave. Should have kept fucking with me. You should have kept fucking with me." Yeah, like several times, and it's like, God damn.
Yeah, because she was still alive for a while. Like the woman was still alive for a bit, and he had to go like get a second gun. I think
he went and got a different gun. He started with a handgun. And he went back and got a rifle and finished them both off with a rifle. You see him basically put the rifle to her face by the end.
That's a horrifying video.
Ghoulish. Yeah.
Like I can watch a lot of bullshit, but it's like when
shovel
you
your
see
snow.
Yeah.
Shovel your snow, people. That's the lesson here.
Shovel your snow, assholes. Shit,
what was the fight about? Why did he shoot him?
They had TP'd his house.
They shoveled their driveway snow into his.
Into his driveway,
yeah.
Which is rude.
It's very rude.
You can't be doing stuff like that. But also in that video, I didn't see a big giant pile of snow in front there. It looked just as much like the guy who was driving by doing the pusher.
Much history. There was so much history there. Like
that wasn't their first bickering.
Yeah, there was so much history. No, I agree with you so much about like you can't have like a neighbor that you're in a dispute with. We gotta solve this. If you take the L and then bake cookies, dude. Like you're gonna need that guy to pick up a package or to fucking call it. He's gonna be the one that watches your house burn down, right? Like he's gonna be the one to not
drink the match in his hand.
Oh, looks like, hey, honey, look, Taylor's house is burning to the ground. What? Taylor's house is burning to the ground. Look. Oh, no way. And they just
he's like out in his yard. He's the first one to know. He's like, help.
He's spraying his own lawn with a hose to make sure that it doesn't get scorched. Like that's all he's doing.
What are you doing? I'm on Ash Watch just in case they float over.
Yeah, just in case they float on Ash Watch.
You want to be friends with that guy. Yeah, that's the guy you need to do you a favor every now and then, right?
I've never had a dispute with a neighbor at all.
Right.
Like the only thing I could possibly think of, I did think about this the other day, is the neighbor on one of my sides in my like all my neighbors are in their 50s. So like I feel weird like talking to them like I don't know. Like neighbors. It feels bizarre.
Oh, you don't feel like you're their peer.
I don't feel like I'm a real adult because I'm the youngest. I'm like, I live near a bunch of boomers for the most part, but they have a tree that is looming over my sunroom, like from their yard, kind of like that. And I was thinking just the other day, because I just paid to have a bunch of my trees removed. I'm like, what do I even do? Like, do I go over there and say like, hey, your tree is looming over my house. Could you take care of that? And then they'll probably say no. And I'll go, okay. Like what? Do
you mind if I take care of that?
Yes. Tell me
the follow up. Trees. So tree law is actually a specific piece of law that exists.
Is he bullied by the other attorneys?
You need him.
Dude,
I specialize in bird law.
Yeah. No, he looks like the brawny man. He's got fucking big beard and an axe thrown over his shoulder.
Yeah, I want to know about tree law.
Here's the thing with tree law. Okay, so a tree is a piece of property, and some people really like their trees, right? So let's say you go to your neighbor's property and you just like it's blocking your view of the lake, and you're like, "Fuck this tree." Let's say it's a 120-year-old oak tree. So you just and chop that down. Don't even ask any questions. You go back inside. You say, "Shouldn't have done that," right? And then they're like, they sue you. What happens now is that you lose because you didn't have permission to fuck with their tree. It's clearly on their property. All the facts are in their favor. So you lose that case. Now you have to replace a 120-year-old oak tree. You don't replace a 120-year-old oak tree with a new oak tree. You have to get yourself a 120-year-old oak tree, or you have to come up with the financial compensation for it. Do you know how much that fucking costs?
I can't imagine.
To get a 120-year-old tree.
There's a guy who evaluates that.
Just scoop it out and put it back in the yard.
Bring it on a truck because it's not in the same town as you. And you got to bury it. And then in Minnesota, if that happens, you get triple damages on it too. So I mean, you're talking cutting down a tree like that. You're in like a $250,000 proposition on damages that you end up paying.
You know what the most famous case of that has to be? That thing with Alabama and Auburn, right? Where the guy, I want to say an Auburn fan goes on like Auburn fan radio down there, you know, good old boys radio. And he's like, Oh, they think it's funny, huh? They think it's funny to make fun of the Auburn Bulldog or whatever they are. Well, I tell you what I did. I went up there the other day and I poisoned the red oak tree. And they've got some sort of like ancient old oak tree that's like Alabama's tree. I went up there and I poisoned it. And the guy on the radio is like, you killed the tree? Well, it ain't dead yet, but it will be. And and sure enough, like, I don't remember exactly what he done, but he like drilled holes into this tree and introduced poison or something. And he killed this
What an
ancient
asshole.
dude. It's ruined his life because they found him, of course.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's just denied it. He's like, I said that, but I did not poison that tree.
I did not have sex with that tree. Not a single time. Didn't do it.
I think
I don't know, you drilled some holes
ESPN
in
like
it.
30
Why?
for 30 about this shit.
Drilled some holes in it.
It's
I'm fucked up.
ridiculous, the drama that went down over the tree. But dude, you can't replace that. I mean, I guess you can, like you described, but that's incredibly costly. It really is.
Yeah.
Tens and tens of thousands of dollars. It
Oh,
has to be.
so much. Like, but what would happen? But if like a storm came through and knocked their tree onto my house, they would have to, because it's their property. That's their fucking problem, right?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, it always gets complicated, and it's going to be different state by state. And so this is why that specialty is important, because in one state you might have a duty to prune the tree above your own house just to the property line, right? Like, so you can't chop down their tree, but you might have to cut the branch that's looming over your house that poses a danger. In another state, you might not be able to do that. You might have to ask them permission to do it, or they might have a duty to do it. So you really got to kind of get into on a state-by-state basis who has to do this or not. But that's why you always want to check with a competent lawyer in the field of law in your jurisdiction. Of course, the stupid lawyer caveat, but there's a reason for it. And it's because it's different place to place. In Minnesota, triple damages on chopping down a tree. In another state, you might not get triple damages. It might just be single. In a different state, damages may be calculated differently. It might not have to replace it with another tree. You might have to replace it with some comparably aged tree, but it doesn't have to be the same thing or whatever. So
I just need to look up Missouri tree law.
Growing up, I had my dad had two neighbors that hated each other. These were next door neighbor farmers. So we're not just talking about adjoining quarter acre lots. We're talking about adjoining property lines that extend for a couple miles of walking. If you're doing a straight line around a whole property, the way it adjoins 100-acre properties that adjoin. One guy's dogs that apparently chased the other guy's livestock, exhausting and killing it thereby. And he felt like he was owed restitution for these dead calves. The other guy's telling him to go fuck himself. So now we hate each other, and there's like thousands of dollars on the ground burnt, essentially, as far as one guy's concerned. And so the other guy, he's like, yeah, he sneaks over here at night, I think. He steals the pins out of my tractors. Because they like little things go missing around his farm that are like little pins on your tractors. Like, what do you do now? Go to the John Deere store? Like, we can't work today? Like it would be a problem if you took all the pins out of somebody's tractor who needed to do work. Yeah. And then my cousin worked for Levi, the man who kept losing the pins to his tractors. And there came a day where he's like, yeah, spray the all the weeds with Roundup, kill all of that over there. And Scott's like, well, what about over there when I get next to Calvin's place? He's like, put it on full blast and kill everything that you can reach over that property line. If you can hit it with that, kill it. He's just killing 12 feet over the property line. It's dead. Like,
what a douchebag.
The littlest, anything they could do back and forth to like if you could dump a pile of shit onto the other guy's property or anything, if you're going to cut a tree down. They had that property line redrawn by various experts who used varying techniques from multiple times. It's like, no, this guy's bringing the fucking laser in.
Well, because the title of that property, the title search on it, it's 14 feet away from the old fence that runs down perpendicular to the creek.
Walk until you hear the bees.
Yeah. Like, you look at some of these things that happened with my wife's grandpa out here owns this. He owned their family farm, which they didn't farm it, but it was an old farm site. And like the deed to this thing was written in fucking Aramaic or whatever. And so they they're talking about these reference points that don't exist.
Yeah.
And so they had to go find a guy like to solve a property dispute. This guy's like 89 years old and he remembers when they wrote it. And he's like, yeah, that's the fence that we used to climb as kids. It was right around here between this tree and this tree. It's like, oh, Jesus, like this is what you're relying on. This is how you're drawing property lines.
With an elderly man.
Those old farm properties are like that, though, because they typically stick around, you know, passed down for generations.
A lot of metal pins.
Yeah.
like down here, like if when I would walk through the woods hunting and stuff, in particular around property lines that maybe didn't even exist anymore, you'd find those pins in the ground sometimes.
Yeah.
And also like Indian burial sites. We would find that every now and then.
I don't know if we ever discussed, and maybe I'm wrong. I've talked about it in my private life, but like the missionary who went to the island of uncontacted peoples and got.
I was just
arrowed
thinking of him.
Interesting story as well. There's the woman who farted very loudly and like the Dollar General.
Can we do the mercenary, dude? Have we discussed
the
him on the
missionary?
show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big difference.
What is it? That is different. Yeah, if he was a mercenary, he would have fared better.
He would have fared much better. So I want to say it's a very remote island off the coast of India, I think, because now
Way
they're trying to
off the coast, though. Like, did you see it on a map? I'm gonna try and
I think it's
find
called North Sentinel Island.
And these people on this island are like an uncontacted tribe for the most part, and they've been genetically isolated for like 30,000 years or something like that, some absurd amount of time. They're their own people, and this dumbass missionary goes over there and tries to press his religious beliefs on these people, and go figure, they shoot him full of arrows. Apparently got him in the eye. An accurate bunch over there. They arrowed him the fuck up, killed his ass. And now, like, I believe that the U.S. is asking India to go in and recover the body, and the Indians are like, no, we don't. We call that Death Island. No, last time we sent some people over there, we sent them a bit of curry, and they never came back. They were eaten. They were eaten by the island.
We should like airdrop them just modern snacks.
Jesus.
Because they would love that. Like they'd probably be really happy. Or if they just like, if they saw an Indian guy just like slingshotting them Pringles or something.
You joke? Someone did that. They pull up on a boat to the shallows and they start throwing coconuts at these motherfuckers on the beach. And they're collecting those coconuts like it's fucking can't. They're like, oh, fucking free coconuts. And they're just like you know, they keep like dropping them, you know, when like a kid or
they're
like
so happy with their coconuts.
In the Tom and Jerry cartoons, the mouse would like keep trying to get all of the cheese, and he'd have it like 8 times taller than him, but he keeps dropping it all, and he wants more cheese, but he just every time he gets a new piece of cheese, he drops 2 more, and that's how they are with these coconuts.
That's their culture. Like 50 years from now, like grandkids are gonna be like, Grandpa, tell me about when the coconut man came.
Dude.
Oh, you won't believe it, son. This man came with it was, if it was a dozen, it was 1,000. I tell you, keeping coconut. But I mean like real snacks, like stuff they can't get Reese's Fast Breaks there.
They didn't even. They had like wooden tools for ages, right? That was the best they could do. And then a boat accidentally ran aground on shore, right? And I think a helicopter came and rescued the people off the boat. They didn't even go on the island because they were like attacking them from the island. And there's a reason for that I'll circle back to. But now they have metal tools. They've been taking slices of metal off of this sunken ship for like 30, 50 years now. And just now they have like wooden or metal arrowheads and stuff like that. It turns out that a long time ago, like in the 1800s, this guy came to their island and treated them like animals. Right, they're like measuring their dick, and they're like measuring their dick to see how long it is, and like looking at their breeding, writing down notes, and treating them like probing them and shit. And ever since then, as soon as a white guy comes to the island, they're like, "Fuck that!" and they just start immediately shooting arrows at him. And this missionary was like, it could be a little dicey, but I'm gonna try and bring them the word of God. And they're like, "No way, we are not interested in your fake God." And they killed him. God did not protect him.
Here's
the great
like this,
coconut in the sky protect us.
Here's let me link it to you, but you probably want to like screen this on a different screen, Woody, because even though it's like Nat Geo style nudity, like you can still see some dicks on there. I'm not sure how strict they would be, but so This is just from a Twitter thread of this guy who is like apparently obsessed with this whole thing you were just discussing of that guy going over there in the 1800s. So the first part, it's just a picture of this dude who's like a fucking foot taller than all these other adults because he got nutrition and wasn't like waiting for the coconut man to show up. But this guy's beginning of explanation is, there's a lot of talk about how the missionary killed by the natives of North Sentinel Island. They're probably so aggressive because of this weirdo, Maurice Vidal Portman. So here's a big thread about this creeps and some of facts from my decade-long obsession with the island. The Sentinelese are often described as uncontacted. That's not true. They had a very significant contact in 1880 with Commander Portman. Portman, the black sheep son of some minor noble, was assigned by the English Royal Navy to administer and pacify the Andaman Islands, a job he pursued from 1880 to 1900 with the full measure of his own pervacity.
Pervacity. So he's a pervert.
He's
to
a big
process the
pervert.
word. Yeah.
Portman was erotically obsessed with the Andamanese, and he indulged his passion for photography by kidnapping members of various tribes and posing them in mock Greek homoerotic compositions.
Nice.
During his 20 years in a sexualized heart of darkness, Portman measured and cataloged every inch of his prisoners' bodies with an obsessive love on genitals. This is something from the guy's diary. Lending support to Mary Louise Pratt's notion of bodyscape and theocolonial gaze, male genitalia appear to have been a particular point of fascination. Oh, this is not from this. This is analysis of it. Sorry. Appear to be a particular point of fascination for Portman and Molesworth. One man is described as having, quote, atrophied testicles, both being hard but the size of hedge sparrows' eggs. The same individual is also marked by the observation penis small with moderate size prepuce. Another one, penis larger than usual, summarizes a man named Churko. Tlee is described as the chief of Interview Island and a man of considerable authority and intelligence, but also equipped with a bad temper and genitals that are, quote, fully developed but small.
This guy.
See, he's like, he was trolling in 1880. Just imagine being a Neolithic person spending a few weeks in this guy's rotating menagerie. Portman spent most of his time in the greater Andaman Islands, but in 1880 he landed on North Sentinel. The natives fled and his party ventured inland to find a settlement which had been abandoned in haste. But they located an elderly couple and a few children they were able to abduct. The couple died quickly, likely from ailments to which they had no immunity. The children spent a few weeks with Portman doing God knows what, after which he returned them to the island. Portman returned on a couple occasions, but the Sentinelese hid each time. The story related by the children was certainly passed down among the 100 or so inhabitants of the island, and even today. Portman's fatal kidnapping is just beyond a human lifetime. So when the Indian government attempted contact and anthropologists in the 1960s and 70s, the Sentinelese were understandably hostile to outsiders. In 1981, a cargo ship named the Primrose ran aground on the coral reef surrounding North Sentinel. The crew radioed for assistance and settled in for a long wait. But in the morning, they saw 50 men with bows on the beach building makeshift boats. The crew called for an emergency airlift and were evacuated, and not a moment too soon. Rough waves had thwarted the Sentinelese in their attempts to board, but the weather was clearing. The ship and its cargo were left at the island awaiting discovery by Neolithic eyes. Today you can see the gutted remains of the Primrose on Google Earth. Imagine climbing on board that ship, a completely alien vessel filled with alien things. Imagine seeing simple machines for the first time, a hinge, a latch, a wheel, things that would instantly make sense in a satisfying way. Others would be so incomprehensible to avoid notice. I have never been able to find out what the cargo was on the Primrose in all my years of reading. There are about 100 tons of some sort of consumer product on board, and I'm curious what it was. But even absent the cargo, think about all the things that must have been on that ship. In the 90s, anthropologists returned to the island to make new attempts at contact. They were met with a different attitude. Not friendly, but they were willing to accept gifts. Here's a video of the encounter. You can notice that these pre-Iron Age people now had metal weapons, like the knife carried by this man. They had scavenged metal from the Primrose and cold forged it into tools. This just goes on for a while, so I'm gonna stop there. But
am I the only one who doesn't think that these uncontacted tribes need to be preserved like some sort of fucking Neolithic like world in a bottle or something, like a snow globe of
so
ancient
you don't
times?
think that.
Like
You
they're
think that we
literally
should catalog
animals.
their penis sizes?
Look, we should go in there and just
a confident man, but a small dick.
Weird. He got leadership position at 5 inches.
Lots of power, but small.
much
hard
larger than
testicles.
right, but both quite firm.
And I also don't believe that they like walk in there and they see a latch the first time and they're like, oh, like I don't.
You don't think
like,
so?
If I walk on an alien ship and there's something that I've never even conceived of on there, I don't see it and go, of course, this is how you do this. Like I feel like you need some sort of like teaching method to get you off, you know?
That's
like
racist.
ground zero. What?
Yeah, I don't know, Taylor. Like
it's weird because I feel like the kinds of things that I would learn from are no longer simple. We figured out the simplest of simple things, like the screw and the wedge and the wheel and such. But these guys, they didn't have all that worked out. I wonder what
you could totally see something that you hadn't personally worked out, but you could immediately recognize the utilitarian nature of it and you'd be like, so that's how that works. Like if you found a wheelbarrow but with no wheels, but when you grab the handles, it just started levitating. You'd be like, oh shit, look at this. It's a levitating wheelbarrow. And to them, they see a wheelbarrow and they're like, oh shit, we've just been dragging things around on flattened out logs since time immemorial.
We were told for thousands of years, you will not improve on the laid down log method. Like there's one guy there who crops up every few generations who's like, God, fucking Ubudo over there, thinking he's gonna change the world with his latches and his knobs. And get this. He chopped a tree into segments, right? Keep listening. Hilarious, I know. Puts a hole in the middle, a stick through that, rolls it around, calls it a wheel. What's wrong with pulling a log, Ubuntu? You're too good for log pulling. That's probably what they go through there.
He is too weak to pull log.
I was thinking laugh at him. Like, ever think like, at what period of time would you be a genius? Right?
Probably never.
I'm no astronomer, but my basic understanding of stars and Earth rotations and the planets would be pretty elite at some period of time.
Yeah, but you couldn't prove it, right? I feel like it depends. If you really put some thought into it, I feel like you could go back to like the early 1900s and you could really get some shit done, right? Like you would hire the experts to put your ideas into practice. Like I don't know how to make penicillin, but I know how to make penicillin, right? It's bread mold. So if I got myself like a couple of like 1897 scientists together and was like, look, I don't know when penicillin was invented, by the way, clearly. I think it was early 1900s.
1930s, I think.
In any case, it'd be like, look, there's this thing called penicillin. It's literally bread mold. I don't know if it's a special bread. I don't know if we gotta get some rye or some pumpernickel. I don't know if it needs to be moist first, if somebody needs to poop on it. But this bread mold cures everything. Absolutely everything that we've had a problem. Syphilis, say no more. 3 days, you're good to go.
Dude, I have the same problem of not exactly knowing enough to be useful. Like, guys, exactly. I know that with a lemon or a potato or something, I can make a battery. That's as much as I know. So we're going to be poking around with wires and shit for somebody. Anyone have a small light bulb? We can see if it's working.
Also, by the way, has anyone invented wires yet? Shit. All right.
I'm going to need to go.
No, like, I'm so fucking dumb. Like, I would be trying to like come up with a thing, like an invent the math needed to prove that like a star placement there was different. But really, I just have to go to one of the smart people at the age and be like, hey, that star I'm pointing at right now, tonight, remember where that is? And then the next morning, I'd be like, it's over there now.
I'm pretty sure
I don't know what it means, but you do. Like, we're moving.
I'm pretty sure I know how to cure the bubonic plague, or at least the bubonic plague. I read like two different things. One sounds very painful, but it involves lancing the boils and cauterizing them. Apparently, that's a big part of curing it. And you'd get those boils in like your armpits or in your lymph nodes and stuff. And the other involved taking the scabs from other people who had the plague off of said boils, drying them out, and then the person snorts them. And
so
it's like
own kind of.
I feel like we're pretty close to surviving that scale disease in Game of Thrones with Kyle's techniques there.
I swear to God, I'm not making this up. Like I want to say I read that like the Arabics had figured out that if they took the dried scabs of a plague victim and ground them up and then snorted them, that was like a vaccine for bubonic plague, because you're getting a weakened version of the plague.
I'm way too much of a snowflake, because in my head all I can think of is Arabics racist?
No, I think yeah.
I did. Yeah. No, I don't think. I think it's just improper grammar more than anything.
I don't know. Yeah, I can't say anything without wondering. I think I referred to Mexicans as Mexicans a little while ago, and I had to process it. No, that one's okay.
Yeah, it's weird how there's been sort of a derogatory like thing put on Mexican, right? But it's because so many people are like, yeah, there's damn Mexicans.
Yeah, and I was
That
like,
sounds bad.
actually, that's an appropriate way to refer to Mexicans. Okay, I'm clear. Yeah, anyway, it's tricky now.
I wonder what the next one to go is. Like, when is person of color gonna revert back to what colored person was? Where they're like, actually, we don't like this either. Like, and then they decide to move that to something new.
I just hope Savage American becomes a thing.
Oh, I wanted to
I think
become a
that's
thing
an
so much.
uphill fight you guys are waging. It's gonna be tough.
I've got my Savage American jersey on here.
Oh, yes, you do.
I really like that jersey.
Actually, while you wear that jersey, you're allowed to say it.
That's right. I am one of the tribe, technically.
One of the tribe. Yeah, you're at least as Native American as Elizabeth Warren.
I knew that was coming.
Probably more. You've got high cheekbones. Not very dark hair though.
No, I don't. My mother was blonde, but Dad's got black hair. Yeah, a nice little mixture there. I like
Evened out.
Yeah, it evened
Well, I
out.
like what would your gift be if you were showing up at one of those islands? Like it's got to just be something that you can carry. How about that?
Man,
Something
I
that you
think
can-
a fucking sword. Like first
I was
of all,
gonna bring a shield, like
I-
Captain
I know,
America's
gift
shield.
for them. Like,
Well, you know,
they flip it over and put rice in it or something to start cooking it. I feel like
they might like
bad,
that.
like a legit sword, like a nice, real chopping sword, or maybe just a good axe, like a good splitting maw or something like that. Like something that's both impressive to look at, clearly alien to them because of its workmanship, and utilitarian. Like if you just give them like a fucking iPad, like where are they going to charge that bitch up at, right? That is God for like 12 hours. However
Well,
long
you
an
need
iPad
a
battery
potato
lasts.
and some wires, and the rest I don't understand.
I think they're gonna have a hard time charging it with a low current tater. They're gonna eat the tater like halfway through, like charging that thing. They're like, can we just eat the potato?
because you just like give them seeds.
Oh,
That
you're
would
talking
require
about introducing them to
patience.
agriculture? That's a long talk when we're drawing in sand.
What if you show up with some barbed wire and teach them about the fence?
I don't want to bring them anything that they're going to immediately use to kill me in hopes
you
that I
want
have.
to teach them domestication? I think that might be even harder.
Is it?
You're right. After I said it, I'm like I'm gonna be like, okay, you put the seed in the ground. No, you don't dig it up right away. Like, it takes
good
it
now.
takes a- So then we put the seawater on. No, no, you don't do that.
They're pissing on it or something. This is some Jack and the Magic Beanstalk shit. It's about as believable to them as like that story is to us. I think you give them a fucking sword, man. Because I'm just imagining like they've probably got something similar to a sword now, like they make those wooden swords in the Amazon, and apparently there's hardwood there that's legitimately hard enough you can make like a cutting implement out of it and kill a man with it. But if you showed him a fucking stainless steel saber, like or maybe one of those cold steel like swords that they make for like zombie defense or whatever the fuck, and you handed it to Chief Nabumbo, and like of course he'd immediately go decapitate one of his enemies with it, and he'd love you. That'd
Dude,
be
you would
big for
start
him.
a civil war if you brought one sword.
And you'd be on the winning side.
No, bow and
would
arrow
be.
is not a bad thing.
Oh, a legit bow and arrow.
That's how they killed the
It's-
missionary.
A compound bow.
Am
Yeah,
I
that's
saying
the
it right, missionary? Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
What did I
yeah,
call
yeah.
him before?
Mercenary.
Yeah, all right. Now I'm all caught up.
If you not even maybe a compound bow, because those like eventually go bad, and but like recurve bows, like that's another step up in the technology, right? Like, you know, they've got those silly bows they've got, and then I guess you'd have the long bow and then the recurve bow where the ends go back the other way, and it adds a tremendous amount of extra power, 20 or 30% or something like that. And then just a shit fucking ton of wooden arrows, like good ones. They'd be blown away by that. They'd love that
I
shit.
think like what would endear them the most to you would be like a big cooking set, like a bunch of pots and pans and shit. That'd be so much easier for them. And then like normal knives to cut things up.
Knives
Like
would
a
be
knife
big.
set and like a pot and pan set.
Pair
They
of
would
blue
love that.
jeans would blow them the fuck away.
Oh, bring jeans but you know what? Oh, this would be hilarious. You bring jeans, but you bring like jeans that are way out of style. Like I'd bring like
Jinko.
Jeanco jeans from the 90s, and
Huge
I'd
leg.
hand them out. Huge leg Jeanco jeans. So then when the coconut man shows up, they've got these enormous big legged pants. That
I
they're
got a
all
better
wearing.
one. What if like unbeknownst to them, because they don't know shit, you dress them up as the village people. This got a bunch of Indian police officer, firemen, like the whole bit, and they're all standing there proud of their new their new fucking clothes, and you're just like, I don't know, they're the village people.
That would be hilarious. Like you go there and you're the king, and you like teach them English, and you make them like act out American shows.
You know, this version of House of Cards isn't half bad.
Very small constituency, not a lot to gain or lose, doesn't seem, but whatever.
I don't know how Frank's gonna get away with this one.
Yeah. He's molesting the kids of the island. Oh,
well, yeah,
gotta make it Claire's show now.
Method acting.
I believe that. I believe that
lost.
happened in Vietnam. I believe that happened in Afghanistan. I don't know how to measure Iraq.
Korea was the last real loss we took, in my opinion. Korea, what happened?
Not Vietnam?
No, because we decided to lose Vietnam. Korea, the Chinese came and kicked us out. Like we lost Vietnam because we didn't want to. It's true. It's historical fact.
I'm waiting. Listen to him make his point.
We lost Vietnam because we decided not to win because the public weren't supporting the war. We didn't want to use the tactics that would have allowed us to win, like bombing the North. And they spent all that time deforesting the South and fighting in jungles against, Viet Cong. And we won. We still won every single battle. Like we decided the war was just not cool anymore. And so we stopped doing it. Korea, on the other hand, we got made to look like fools by the Chinese.
No, but not in Vietnam. We didn't look foolish.
No.
Do you know what the KD for Vietnam was?
Doesn't matter. We lost.
I don't see it that way. We don't play the objective.
We played we don't play the objective.
I'm just saying this is a very hindsight 2020 American History Channel take where it's actually we took our ball and went home, so there was no battle.
Yeah.
It was a draw.
Home.
And you could also make the case that they lost support for the American public for the war, but isn't that kind of part of maintaining the war? Is you have to make a case as to why you can rationalize that sort of spending to the public, and they could no longer do it. And so, if anything, we should have got out of there earlier.
I don't know what that has to do with anything. I just think that's a war that we chose to lose. If we wanted to win it, I mean, why don't they start dropping nukes on the north part of the country, right? Or send 1 million men over there, or just keep grinding them away with bomb. We never bombed the north. I always go back to that, but it's just the truth. But in Korea, the Chinese just came down and just fucked us, all the way back to what is it, the 38th parallel or whatever? It was a humiliating loss.
What do you mean? And I'm sure you can educate me on this. So we didn't bomb, we didn't napalm in Vietnam, North Vietnam.
Oh, so I'm talking about the cities and infrastructure in the north, in their capital. What was the capital of North Vietnam? Is it
Hanoi?
Something like that.
Ho Chi Minh City.
They didn't bomb up there the way that the generals wanted to bomb. I think it was a political decision. I know a lot less about Vietnam than I do Korea, though. Korea is fucking wild.
I don't know anything about either.
The Chinese sent 1 million. So
I did an 18-page paper on the French involvement and the American involvement in Vietnam, and let me tell you, this dude named Odarn Westad wrote a large book, and I read it all, and I retained very little, but it didn't seem like he thought we won. So Odarn Westad, he was pretty adamant on the L we held. No cap.
If we had a really big, no one can deny victory since World War II.
I think that was and also we kind of just stole the show there. We didn't really put in a lot of legwork.
That is true. We basically showed up way far into it, and the UK's like, "Oi, bruv, we can't afford a war anymore," and we're like, "We'll loan you all the money." If we
you gotta pay it back,
forever, bitch. Yeah, and then we went in, and I mean, without America, they couldn't have won, right?
No,
no. They definitely could, because the supply chain. It was basically everybody was making a tank an hour.
We're forgetting about Japan. I think the Germans would have fallen, I think, without U.S. military intervention at all. I don't think we needed to send a single troop. I think a lot more Russians and Brits and French would have died in the long run. But I think that they could have won without us probably there. We definitely needed to keep sending them money and materiel, though. But I don't know what happens in the Pacific if we don't island hop across the biggest ocean in the world and just fuck shit up the whole way. The Pacific is the coolest part of the war. Everybody
principally attacking. It was the rape in Nanking. They were going to mainland China, it was that the biggest of their focus there in the
They
Western
were
theater.
they had 7 to 8 million troops scattered throughout the region at the time of the surrender. So there were guys who had been away for so long they didn't know what had happened back home. Like they came home to rubble. They were all over the region though, from the Philippines to China and like butting up, getting close to Russia. They had conquered an enormous swath of land there. But if you look at their reasoning, this is getting real History Channel and boring. I'll stop.
No, I was engaged. If you look,
I'm interested.
Well, it was like a video game, right? Where you're like, we don't have enough iron. Like we just don't have it. Like when you play Civ, sometimes like you just don't have iron or oil or wood or whatever. And it's like, all right, well, I'm fucked. Like I might as well quit.
That's why Russia's so good. They start
or I could go take Woody's fucking wood. Woody's not even looking. All right, bow. Woody's wood is mine, and that's what they did, like sweeping across the region.
There's your mistake.
They needed oil.
Stop playing with his wood.
They needed
oil. My notice.
They needed oil. They needed timber. They needed rubber. Like they needed those things, and they didn't have them in the amounts that they wanted them.
Well, maybe we'll get them next war.
We got him last war.
Maybe we'll round two.
No, not World War II. I was talking about the whole scope
Vietnam
of wars.
too.
Instead of Afghanistan, next war we'll bring it home. Bring home the gold.
I think you're wrong about this winning wars thing. Like I think that we have
loser talk.
Sounds like somebody who's been beat back geopolitically.
Hi, I'm an incel, and I think you're a little hung up on getting laid.
It's just like all right. So like we were at war with the Al Qaeda, right? Like
yes.
I mean, we got the guy that ran the thing. Isn't that a W?
I mean, we won that battle, but not the war.
Oh, now it's battles and wars. Like
I guess it depends. You know what we need to do? More clearly define achievable goals, and then if we achieve them, call it a win.
I really agree.
Yeah, but when you can always
agree with you.
But when you always change your achievable goals, like if Russia's goal was to, conquer Ukraine in a blitzkrieg in 4 days, and then they change it to just to secure like Donbass region east, like does that make it a loss if they ended up with a net positive but didn't achieve their initial goals? Like it's gonna be hard because it's really the only people that get to decide if you win or not are the people that are involved.
Yeah, I think after Vietnam or during the talks to quit Vietnam, it was like peace with honor or something like that. Like looking for a way to say, all right, we're fucking done, but not look bad at the same time.
Yeah,
it was a picture of an American GI with his pants down, ass spread. It's okay. They're all elderly now. No one's gonna care. They don't have YouTube's around.
Those were American heroes.
They gaped their ass for the US.
Dude, I feel bad for those guys. Like they must have gone into it like we're gonna come back like our uncles and parents and we'll be heroes because they saw World War II and everything, and then they come back and like people spit on them.
Yeah,
which is like
call them baby killers.
And think about that. You get torn out of your life, drafted, forced to fight a war that you don't want to fight, and then you come home and people spit on you. And it's like you're a trash person. Like that's just wild. And they knew at the time they got drafted in, right?
Yeah.
Like, everyone knew.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, no, not everyone was drafted.
Yeah, but
a lot of them were.
Had to be
some people may have joined because
what did they do to incentivize joining before they could give out Camaros?
Because I just a day of the year, and every male born in a certain year on that day had to go in the next few days and register. So they'd be like, April 6th, if you're born in April 6th between 1948 and 1952, show up at your local,
that's awful. I'd shoot myself in the foot.
You didn't know that? That's how they did it. Lotteries. So like birthday 5
lotteries.
Different birthdays would come up every couple of weeks, and if you were one of those birthdays, you were going to Vietnam.
No, there's no way.
A lottery number. I didn't realize it was birthday based.
Birthdays.
I didn't know that until I read about it. It's interesting.
My dad told me some story about that once because he's 1953 in April, and he was like, I think maybe he said it was the day next to his day was like one of the came up, and it was like, and I'm like, I asked him once, I'm like, would you have gone? Would you have gone and to Vietnam? And he's like, there was no question. If they come and they load you up in a truck and they fucking take you. Like what am I gonna do? Go to Canada? I don't know anybody in Canada. This is my home. Yeah. So, you go.
I want to read this. 2/3 of the U.S. military who served in the Vietnam War and more than half of the names on the wall volunteered for duty. The other 1/3 were drafted primarily into the Army. Beginning in 1969, draftees were picked via televised lottery based on the date of birth. Okay.
A third. That's a lot.
Catch me sitting there with my boys, drinking heavily, waiting for them. Like, come on, this is the worst Powerball ever.
There were a couple ways to beat the draft, right? One was like
the Ted Nugent.
The Ted Nugent. He literally pooped himself and made him seem crazy, and they didn't.
Listen, I would
There's
feel
the
confident.
Donald Trump, where he had a doctor that was a friend of the family who said that he had bone spurs, right? So that was a way. But another way was to go to college. And then, if you can get accepted into college,
I'm
there's
not getting
student deferment, stuff like that. And I think there was another one too, but there were a couple ways to dodge.
Probably some family-based stuff that made you less likely, maybe.
There was a family-based one, but to Woody's point, I was going to bring up the other one because that's how my grandpa got exempted. If you were a farm worker who was like if you worked on a farm and like did stuff like livestock raising or like and you were deemed to be like indispensable to the running of that farm,
You were part of the war effort.
They took you out of it and were like, you are worth more working on this farm, raising cattle or raising livestock or raising crops than you are with the war effort. And so he got a notice about that.
Where I was headed with that is it became kind of class-based. Like some of these things, going to college, working on a farm, owning a farm, like it's the unemployed. It's the,
we send our poor to die.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't just poor. Like my grandpa didn't own a farm. He just was a worker on a farm who, like, he was 22 years old. He didn't have running water.
Taylor,
like it was just an amount.
You're invalidating my argument.
Oh, sorry.
We don't want your anecdotal evidence to the contrary of Woody's point.
But yeah, there were some, maybe being a parent. I'm not sure about that one. But yeah, there were some class-based things that let you avoid the draft. And like Tucker said, we sent our poor to war. So probably won't do that again. I think we're a little more hip to that.
Eventually we will.
Every country in the world sends their poor to war. The next time we need to send people to war, it will be poor people. When it's time to snatch people and draft people, the same thing will happen. It will be poor people. There will be ways to get exemptions, and the poor won't be able to come up with them. It'll always be that way. It has always been that way for all eternity.
Kind of point. Like that's why that's large reason of why the Army is built off of like reliable pay, food, and housing. Like that's like it's like, oh, you can't get it elsewhere. Well, look at this. It's not good, but like you get it. So all the way back.
I hadn't looked at it through that lens, but I so completely agree with you.
That's another reason why I say we've never lost a war.
Housing. Those three: reliable food, pay, and housing.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally like, don't people point to a lot of like repeat offenders as a reason for them to go back to jail with nonviolent crimes is to have a structured place like that to live. And I mean, like that's also a definite draw to the other one.
So in my little universe, I've seen adults, parents encourage their kid to go into the military when they think they need that structure. Right, so you're sort of talking about how the kids might opt into it because they.
I'm talking about a need using the military as like it because it really is. If you're looking at it, your likelihood to see combat as a United States military serviceman right now, like probably the lowest it's ever been. Right, we lost how many people in the 20 years of Iraq? Like your likelihood of dying in a conflict. Like we're looking at how war is changing and stuff. Like I see a lot. I had a lot of friends of mine who pre-pandemic were working in the music industry. I say a lot. I mean literally 2. But that's a lot versus 0 my whole life, right? That went to the military. He was like, why would I not go get stationed? I'm Korean American. Why would I not go get priority station back in Korea and get paid for it and do menial tasks over there until like things settle down? And I'm like, oh, yep, okay, that's an outlet that a lot of people find themselves in.
And something that like you saying that brought it up in my mind, like just kind of realizing this now, like a lot of the people who are like brought in like grunts, like Army, like that in like Vietnam, that would have been like the draft people. Like, and I'm like, we don't have a draft now, but I'm sure this kind of carries over is like the people, like I know a friend who's very high up in the Marines, I'll say, like he went on special missions and stuff. And he is a guy who like his whole life, he wanted to be a Marine. He had toys of Marines as a kid. That, like, you asked that kid at 7 years old. I remember because we went to first and second grade together, all those schools. Everyone else was like, I want to be a police officer. I want to be a dinosaur. And he's like, I want to be a U.S. recon Marine. And they're like, what? And he's like, yeah, a recon Marine, like a scout Marine, like a sniper. And it's like, you're 6. What are you talking about? And he was obsessed with that his whole life. And so, like, I imagine that a lot of these, like, creme de la creme, like, elite guys, like the SEALs, it's not someone, it's not like it's not like a Captain America where some loser comes in and they're like, you happen to be the best Marine of all time. Like, no, these guys like want to be the tippity top and they train for it. It's like the backfill of the bulk that is like people who don't want to be there.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I don't know what the death rates are like, but I would actually imagine a lot more of the like operation.
Yeah, he was hardcore.
Yeah.
Genghis Khan. He would lift his ass, and you can ride traditional or you can ride like a woman. He would switch. He popularized the sitting on a horse like a woman so he could shit on the go. He said, we must do as the horses do, for they are the key to our people's success.
Right.
Because horses shit on the run. This is all you need to look it up, people. These are facts, and this remains to be true.
Can we bring up that podcast, the JRE, the Joe Rogan?
I started listening to that a couple hours ago. I'm not even halfway through it yet, and I just I was cleaning dishes and doing some things, and I started writing down stuff from the podcast that I thought was funny or interesting. And just over the course of like 90 minutes, I've got pages of funny things I heard. It is. We may as well just quit PKA. Everybody else podcasting, you can stop because we've hit the peak. That's the funniest. So far, the funniest podcast
I hated
I've ever heard.
I hated it.
Oh,
I thought that podcast was shit. I powered through it like against my will because I felt like I needed to be up to date on it. And one good thing that I get from it, I got it the last time Alex Jones was on, and this time people fuss at me for interrupting too much. And sometimes that criticism is really valid. Sometimes it's almost a meme. And I see them interrupt each other, and it's a reminder, Woody, don't do this to your show because it's ruining it for me. And Alex Jones can't get his thought out, and he and Eddie Bravo interrupting each other constantly. Joe Rogan, who usually has a good thought in his head, can't get it out. And he's got the solution to this argument, tries to explain to him that he's just joking with him, and that it takes like a minute and a half for that to come through.
The way I see it is almost like he's like Joe knows how entertaining Jones is. Like he's a huge draw. Like look at all the views in his podcast recently. I don't listen to that many. I'm listening to this one because it's Alex Jones and he's hilarious. Like I feel like Rogan is playing him like a lute, where he's like, "Oh, I'll say this, and that'll get Jones going on another funny rant. Oh, I'll ask a question this way, and I'll get him going on another funny tangent. Or whoa, you just said something about aliens stealing baby parts. Come back to that, please." Like he was just, I feel like, trying to kind of hem Alex Jones in enough to get him because like it seems like Alex Jones is 1 billion miles wide and 4 inches deep. He's got like all this stuff, and so Joe's trying to desperately wrangle this madman in. It is so fucking funny.
All I saw was again and again and again Alex Jones unable to tell us any kind of story in a straight line, unable to make any kind of point, randomly scatter-shotting all kinds of weird conspiracy theories about Asians being robots and other weird things, backing it up with things like my father had a nuclear power plant under his university, and it just goes left and right and never makes any sense. And Joe would be like, whoa, let's get back to that one. Let's deep dive into it.
Yeah, though. It's what Taylor just said. He's 1 billion miles wide and 4 inches deep. Like he's got no answers because Joe would stop and be like, whoa, where does it say that? You just said that this is in literature, that this has been written down by people. Show me those books. I need.
Well, I'm frankly not going to get into that right now. But something else to mention is that they are already making half pig, half people hybrids in China. They've been doing this. Look at 1986. New York Times put it out as a feeler to see if people will be okay with this kind of thing for growing these goddamn livers for these drug abusing political types. They put that out there. People hated it. They got rid of it. Look it up. MIT's paper. Jamie, you pull that up. MIT's paper. And then like every once in a while, they'll say something like he pulled up the MIT thing. I was like washing a dish, like, Alex, are you fucking insane? The Chinese are not breeding half people, half pigs to try and harvest their organs. And then like
of course, that's not exactly true, but there is shit going on that MIT talked about that was like akin to that, and it's like
that's what he does. Though
shit.
he takes a little bit of truth, and he warps it into this incredible conspiracy. Like they made as soon when electricity and film, when electricity and film was becoming like a thing, when it was just burgeoning, they'd make these machines that you could stick your head in and you could see like a little video and stuff. And he's like, that's virtual reality. You see, that's alien technology that they gave us back then. That was virtual reality technology given to us by the aliens, handed down to the Vril Society, which was the Nazis. They gave baby blood to the aliens in exchange for their technology. They sold their souls, which you've got to keep in mind, though. And on this rant, what you got to keep in mind, though, is they will only give you evil. Okay, there's two sides out. Right? They look like elves and they have horns. They are what we would think of as demons. And if you commune with them, if you allow them in, okay, they will only bring evil. Now, God and the angels, they're a whole different thing, but you have to ask them to come in, okay? And they will not involve themselves in your life unless you ask them to get it to come in. But what you've got to keep in mind is the Chinese society, they're basically robots, okay? They're built to be a and you're like, what? Slow the fuck down.
Oh yeah, I'm just
back. Kyle did better than Alex Jones. Alex Jones would have had 4 topics in that length of time, all of them ridiculous and insane. And Kyle only had 2. And the late-term abortion was a really good example. So they listened to this clip of the Virginia governor talking about like super late-term abortions. And he's like, there are some kids that are born and they're not viable. They're not compatible with life. So what we do is we take them out. We keep them comfortable until they die. Like that's how that goes. And that is an awful situation, right? Kids with their hearts born on the outside with their, holes in their skulls and brains exposed and whatever. Kids get born that way and they keep them comfortable until they die. Well, they just completely skip over the non-viable part of this. And they're like, they are taking these children, making them comfortable and killing them as if women want abortions after 9 months. Like that's a thing that's going on. And Joe was just like, his mind was blown away that it was happening. He's like, Joe, did you miss the part where he described the context? He did. And then again, like I watched this and I'm trying to learn to make our show better. I'm like, this must be how frustrated our viewers are when we get our facts wrong. Because that's where I was.
I thought it was entertaining. Like
I really
like he'll talk about like he said a couple. You hated it, Kyle. You didn't think it was funny.
No,
you heard me. You heard me.
Sorry. Yeah. I like the part where like he'll say stuff that like is pretty agreed upon, where he's like, and of all the people in the world, the Chinese and the Germans are the most methodical, the most organized, and the most likely to get those kind of projects done. That's understood. It's known, and that is why the aliens came down targeting those 2 groups of people and provided them with what they needed. You can see it in early 1930s with the Germans and the Nazis. They received that technology. You can see it now currently with AI and China, and it's like, but I think I stop agreeing there on the Germans and Chinese seem the most organized. Like, like you get like that does seem like they do seem really organized, those groups of people. So most people will be like, okay. And then he goes, so that's why the aliens chose them for this. And it's like, this is like, I can't tell where his act ends to where he begins. Like, I don't know. Like so much of the stuff he's saying is obviously over the top showmanship, like fucking obviously. Like he said, he's like, and you wouldn't believe I've had a very exciting life. It was in this area of Austin, this really rich area where all these people live, kind of these elites, these globalists. And I was there. I was 12 years old, and this beautiful woman, 17, she invited me into her home, and she said, I will have sex with you if you allow me to put you in full makeup. And so I let her. I let her put me in full makeup, and we had sex. It was great. And as I came back down, her father stopped me and said, that was pretty good, wasn't it? You worship Lucifer with me, and you can have that every day. And I said, hell no, and I got out of there. It was like at no point did you go into a rich girl's house in a globalist commune in Austin, Texas, and then fuck a 17-year-old whose father then promised her pussy to you if you would but join their Lucifer cult. Like
no, that did not
happen. Like where does that tie in?
Now that you said that,
look, if
because
that were
then he'll say other shit that I would mock openly.
These are the kind of places Filthy visited for his master's degree.
That's
it's
true.
all
I wish I had visited places like that.
Filthy's been to all the Eyes Wide Shut parties. Like all those cool like fucking goat heads and stuff. Yeah. Oh, and then
So that was a show, like but I thought he really was crazy and off the rails by quite a bit. I'm watching it and I feel like if he was more like in charge of his own capabilities, am I saying this right? That he would be able to stay on a topic and flow a little better. Instead, he's just sort of scatterbraining this stuff. And he's
all over the place.
He's all over the place. He jumps from, and that's the method to his madness, right? If he were to, like if I'm explaining something to you, I'm gonna say, well, it was like this. These people came up with this idea, and on this date, this happened, and I can show you. Here are the pictures of it, okay? And here's where some authors wrote about it who were there. Like you're like, okay, foundation formed, okay, all factual. What you've got there, everything built on this will be real. What he does is he's just like, oh, and then it was aliens, and it was demons, and it was interdimensional aliens, actually. And you got to keep in mind Hillary Clinton, and everybody thinks I hate Donald Trump. I don't hate him, but I don't want to be his defender. And you're just, God, you threw 8 things at me that I
there's a term for that. It's not gobbledygook. Does anyone know?
Gish Gallop.
Gish Gallop. I think, is that Gish Gallop?
Yeah, but I don't think he's doing it as like an argument. It seems like he's just ranting.
Well, when you change topics enough and throw enough people throw enough stuff at people, then it becomes hard to debunk them one by one, right? Like Filthy has a term for it, I think, where it's like 10 times harder to disprove something than to just say a lie. And he does that nonstop. A lie, a lie, a lie, a lie. Like this Gish Gallop of lies. And as you follow it, like you don't know what's true and what's not true. Because every so often one of these things are not a lie. Or he has some sort of evidence for it.
And then oftentimes the thing that's not a lie will he'll say it and I'll be like, bullshit, total nonsense. And then he'll actually be like, actually, Jamie, pull up. In the 80s, they tried to use cell towers to influence people's behavior and make them more complacent. And I'm like, yeah, I bet, Alex, I bet. And then something like that ends up being true.
There was one about makes you
Soros
think,
being a currency
he said manipulator.
10 crazy things before this. If this one isn't a total lie, what wasn't a total lie in there? But by that point, he said 5 more things, and you're onto the races.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's so fucking entertaining.
There's a little bit of truth in almost everything he says, and by truth, I mean
he didn't make it up himself.
He didn't make it. Well, no, I mean, there's a little bit of truth, like the Vril Society, right? The Nazi, demon society where they were trying to, they were based in the occult. That's a real documented thing. That's real.
I didn't know that.
Now, there's been lots of fiction based around that, right? That's what Hellboy is. Hellboy's based around that. You can't say that Hellboy is real because there actually was a Vril Society. Hellboy is an act of fiction. Just like most of what Alex Jones says about the Vril Society, right? Using baby blood in exchange for alien technology. Why would the aliens need to pay us for the baby blood if they have this technology? Baby blood's easy to get, right? We've all got a vial.
How I stay young.
Yeah.
Oh, he was.
I drink it.
Bathe in it. I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to remember the other really ridiculous things he was saying. He was talking about how. Joe, you know how Joe denounced him in like a soft way, and then they kind of, I guess, made up. Like they were talking about, I think, Alex and Joe talking like, oh, and this is what he said. Alex goes, now if they had held a gun to my head and said, you need to kill Joe and his kids, I would say, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And then I would turn around, grab the gun and kill them. And then he just kept going because in his own hypothetical where he's like, they were holding the gun to your head, Joe, and then you betrayed me. It's like, what would I have done? What would I have done? I would have agreed with them, said I would have killed your kids, but I'm too quick. I would have turned around, grabbed it, and killed them. That's what I would have done for you, Joe Rogan.
There were a couple parts where he wanted to get physical with Eddie Bravo, and that I really enjoyed. I
think you beat up Eddie Bravo.
I don't think so.
There's a big size.
Eddie Bravo is a professional.
Yeah,
he is a professional, but I get that jiu-jitsu really gives you another maybe 40% body weight in a fight. But I just feel like Alex is big and strong. I don't know how big Eddie is. Maybe I'm being stupid. Maybe Eddie's 180 pounds, but Eddie looks 150.
He looks below average in size. I don't know.
He looks like a short, thin guy, and I'm aware that he's an incredibly high-level jits guy. Then he trains professionals. That he's world class. But Alex is like a big ogre of a man.
Alex isn't very tall either.
He's 5'9", Eddie Bravo. and 165, according to his Wikipedia page.
Yeah, that's a little guy. That's
He's
a little
probably
guy.
not 165. I'm just sticking that in my own head because I bet he cuts to it. So he would have been, 180
probably
on
like
the show or something.
Well,
yeah.
well, does he cut? Does he compete in jits tournaments anymore?
Anymore
doesn't
is a
matter.
good question. He did 2 years ago.
Yeah, I guess my thought process was just looking at them sitting next to each other. I saw a big, wide, powerful man and a smaller, more slight build of a man. And despite, sure, if he were to get Alex's arm and break it like that's game over. But I don't know if he can break Alex's arm. Alex looks like such an ogre. He just looks thick. Like it looks like he's got this big barrel chest. And he doesn't look like incredibly fit, but he's definitely powerful. I would just
He's got the body of a guy who used to lift a lot.
He really does. He looks like he could lay a walloping on
and
you.
then gained 80 pounds.
I'm pretty confident that both Joe
Eddie would
Rogan
win.
and Eddie would win handily.
Well, Joe's 200 pounds. Joe's like
Yeah. He's
Joe's like
also
5
short, but he's just
5'7",
like a
5'8",
fire
200 pounds.
Can we watch this funny clip of him screaming at
yes, we
at
is this
Eddie
the one we watched
Bravo?
on PKN also?
Oh,
Yes,
is it?
It's the same.
Oh,
one.
okay. I can find another one.
This is the best one. I watched the show. It sucks.
out there.
This is the best part.
Okay, let's give it a go then.
I'm there.
If it's the thing I remember. Ready, set, play.
Really think there's people out there campaigning for late-term abortions? You think that shit's real? You think that shit's real?
Monday to keep it legal.
Who would do that? Who would do that? Who would campaign for? That's the most. That is the craziest shit.
Eddie's trolling him.
Fucking admit they're fucking killing already born kids. So you're
Oh, we're buffering over here. That sucks.
telling me it isn't real when they had a fucking vote in the goddamn fucking Senate.
That's a conspiracy theory.
I am ready to beat your
That's a
fucking ass and get
conspiracy
your
theory.
way. You think you're fucking tough? You're about to get it. Bullshit! They're killing already born babies. Stop fucking lying. God fucking damn it! I'm getting pissed now.
Don't get pissed. Go.
No, I mean you saw the dude. It's going.
I'm just fucking with you. Alex,
the fucking Senate,
fucking with you.
The fucking Senate voted to kill babies and they're fucking bars.
I was just playing with you. Of course I believe that, Alex.
If we want to
Of
shift topics a
course
little bit,
I
I have a
believe.
video that
It's all over the news. I was just playing with you.
Yeah, you probably didn't hear. I buffered for a bit, so we were behind you.
The best clip that's on Twitter right now, I retweeted it, where he's like, Joe, I'm gonna level with you about something. I'm kind of retarded.
Yes.
Oh man.
So that part was actually funny, but there was a lot of it that I thought didn't work.
I'm still only halfway through, so it could peter out and get shitty. It's so off the wall and so much shit going on at once. It's just keeping my attention.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched a bunch of highlight videos. Like I watched him talk about Sandy Hook and the aliens and a few other conspiracy theories, 9/11, and all that content's been.
Oh, I haven't got
wonderful.
to 9/11 yet.
Oh man, yeah, Tower 7, all that bullshit. Boogie, you remember ONLYUSEmeBLADE, right?
No. Oh Lord.
Okay. Call of Duty commentator. His shtick was, back in the Call of Duty. Back in the Call of Duty commentating days, some people had like shticks and bits and like things that made them special. Obviously, people did characters like Dr. Disrespect, or I did a character, and some people did some people were montage makers, some people were commentary guys that their commentary outweighed the value of their gameplay to some extent. But I would put Woody in there. He had good gameplay, great commentary. Like he's really engaging with the community. That was his thing. Well, ONLYUSEmeBLADE's thing was, I don't use guns, just my knife. And he would only melee in Call of Duty and do fairly well. He'd upload his, we upload our good videos, right? But he'd upload really good gameplay of him just shank, shank, shank. And he's a real chill voiced guy. And he's just like, hey guys, Blade here. Seemed to have kind of a chill life, taking it easy. Well, these days he's a streamer. He's associated in some way with Ice Poseidon. I think he might be on his streaming network. I don't quote me on that, but he's a raging alcoholic with maybe pre-diabetic, and his feet are rotting off, and he passes out drunk a lot. Yeah. They're virtually gangrenous, like they have open wounds on his feet. That stuff's not funny, frankly, but what is funny is this video right here.
I know the video.
Oh no!
I actually
is this a a new thing?
So I got a minute and 30-second cut. So basically, he passes out drunk a lot, and everybody around him is one of these like shock streamers, I'll call them. You know, they're not necessarily vloggers. They're not. Their lives aren't all that interesting per se, but they're gonna get up to something, some hijinks. They're gonna make drama. They're gonna do something to make the viewers entertained. And so what they do when he passes out is they fuck with him. And so they painted his face like Pepe the Frog while he was passed out. And this is him. Yeah, right? You got it.
That's a good bit.
Dude,
and so
you've
this
got
is him.
to show the... Do you have the images of Pepe? And
I can find them in 2 seconds.
They're in...
Yeah, well,
they're in Larry's Discord, but I can't mess with Discord because I'm screen captured.
Apparently the ADL made Pepe the Frog a hate symbol. What a bunch of losers.
Are you guys ready to watch this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yes.
3, 2, 1, play.
Did you pay me or something?
This is him waking up to what they've done to him.
What's going on?
It's not. Did you paint me?
Dude, this motherfucker doesn't have an ounce of muscle on him. It's all just booze fat.
You're such a faggot, dude.
Oh, that's a mirror he just looked in.
Biggest faggot in the world.
On the door.
Like, I don't know what kind of fucking loser shit you guys are on to paint me, but fuck you, dude. Seriously.
He's skinnier than I thought.
Yeah.
Look at my fucking face.
He's lost weight.
Here's me, dude.
You're a loser, dude. Whatever money you made for pay me now.
I didn't make it.
Pay me now.
They did it free stream.
Pay me now.
Fuck.
Pay me now, dude.
Can we talk about it?
Get on your phone and pay me whatever money you made for your fucking loser ass stream, you no content bitch ass stream. Pay me now or get the fuck
Your
off.
stream had
dude.
content.
I swear to God, dude.
Okay, I'll pay you.
Pay me now. Whatever money you made to paint me to look like a fucking clown, dude. Pay me now. Get on your phone, dude. Get on your
Blade,
phone.
you're drunk, dude.
That's my money. Pay me now.
Blade, can you relax,
Pay me now.
dude?
No, fuck that, dude. I will. You're a fucking clown, dude. Fuck you, dude.
You look like Pepe the
Pay
Frog,
me
dude.
now. Pay me now, dude.
Relax, dude.
Get on your fucking phone and PayPal me right the fuck now, dude. How much money did you make for fun painting me?
I didn't make any money to paint you.
I have another video that's like far too long and we'd have to skip around in it. But it begins with him not painted and they're just like pouring shit on him. Like it looks like shaving cream or whipped cream or something. They're just like the other day I saw him passed out, pants around his ankles, underwear on, and he's pissing himself in his sleep. And they're just putting solo cups, like plastic cups, under him and catching the piss.
I saw that, and I didn't understand where the pee was coming from in such a consistent stream.
He's pissing out of his underwear, so it finds it's like an icicle, you know. It finds it finds the lowest point of gravity, and then it drips off. It comes, you know, it just flows out.
Okay, all right, this is funny. Yeah, dude, like Woody, you were saying, it looks like he's lost weight, and I love Woody's wholesome approach to it. You know, the reason that he's lost weight is that
hard work and exercise.
He's moved from the kind of alcoholic that eats sometimes to the kind of alcoholic that never eats.
Like Chuck.
All he does is drink. All of his calories are from booze.
I've known a few.
I choose to believe that's George Foreman chicken and couscous.
I've known a few like extreme alcoholics, and that's the case. Like they don't really eat at all.
Yeah,
like the guy.
How do you not
my
get
dad?
hungry?
My dad had alcoholics who worked for him, and I've talked about him before. I saw a funny video that somebody linked me, like Kyle Tell's dad stories or something. I sent it to my dad. He loved it. He fucking loved it. And I was talking about some of those drunks that used to work for my dad. They were both kind of skinny because they didn't eat food most of the time. You know, you would ask him, like, we would see Chuck on the side of the road. 45, 50-year-old white guy. He's essentially homeless. He's living without electricity and stuff. And I'd be like, "Hey, Chuck, you want a hamburger? We just went to McDonald's. We got a bag full. We're taking them back over. And would you like one? Nah, man. Can you run me up to the liquor store though?" Chuck, and I want to be like, "Chuck, have you eaten today?" Because I know he hasn't. Like, he's not hungry.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when you're that much of an alcoholic and you're like poor, that the idea of drinking on an empty stomach it's like bonus liquor. It's like you're making money if you don't eat.
Oh, yeah, it's like you're getting drunk faster.
You're getting drunk faster and harder and staying drunk longer.
because there's no food in your system. It's just the alcohol. And
if I get drunk on an empty stomach, I feel pretty terrible a little bit in, don't you?
Yeah, I don't like to do that.
Like I need some food in me.
Well, that's all sad, but I think Blade's looking better and better.
Yeah,
He's not. We are literally watching a documentary.
You got to switch places with one of
series.
How about this,
of
Taylor?
someone dying. He's dying right now.
At McDonald's, where I worked for a week when I was 15 once. Even though I'd been there a week, I guess I wasn't stupid enough to be tricked into this, so I was in on the joke. But they sent the guy to go get the pickles for the Big Mac sauce. Like, yeah, you got to dice them up, and he's looking everywhere for these fancy Big Mac sauce pickles. So that's a pretty common one, sending someone for something that doesn't exist.
What was I going to say? Oh, you mentioned working at McDonald's for a week. So my father, when he told the stories of us about his childhood, it was always in the most positive, like legendary aspects. My father had a paper route, right? And you think, oh, paper route. But no, he took it to the extreme. Like whenever a new route opened up, he'd take that one on too. And he'd just get more and more paper routes. And it got to be that he was like the paper route, like, I don't know, Don of
Kingpin,
of Gloucester City, New Jersey. And you know, he started like, he had so many paper routes that he took on that he would sublet them out to other kids. And, you know, be like, all right, you deliver this. And he'd just take whatever, I don't know what, but some percentage of the profits. So now, like, he's in charge of the paper route, but he has minions under him who actually send the papers from place to place. And this is my father, the entrepreneur, right? Always a winner. So then I talked to his mom about it. And she's like, oh, yeah, the paper routes. He tried work once. He tried real work once. It didn't suit him. And I'm like, what? Dad, you never told me about this. Apparently he had a job working at like a general store or something, whatever they worked at back in the 1400s. And he had to sweep the floors and he didn't like sweeping and he quit within a few days. And it was so awesome to talk to his mom about his experience compared to himself.
You were getting the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have admitted.
Yeah. He never told me he worked for like, I don't know, they sold like candy and stuff. I picture it like a, you know, pharmaceutical stores from the 30s or something. And he wasn't even born then. And he couldn't do it.
I didn't know that Kyle worked at McDonald's for a week. So you have as much McDonald's experience as I had. No, you had more McDonald's experience than I had Ben and Jerry's experience.
Oh yeah, like in that week, I did a lot. Like if I walked in, like I did everything there is to do at a McDonald's. I never took I take that back. I never took the orders or handled cash, but all the behind the scenes stuff. So I made nuggets, I made burgers, like I cooked them. I assembled sandwiches on the line, you know, and boxed them and slid them on down and everything. You know, made apple pies, made all the things that you cook. I did at one time or another. It was a terrible job. Yeah, it was a terrible job. Very dirty back there. I can remember taking the trash out and having like this gross slime on my hands and telling my manager I needed to wash my hands, but him being like, no, you got to get on the line, and just being like, but my hands, him like, the line. And I just made burgers with the most filthy hands imaginable because he told me to. I mean, it was garbage slime, you know, when that water smells really bad and it just probably got salmonella in it.
I know a lot of people. I've met people in my life that owning a restaurant is their dream job, right? You know, they know it's long hours, they know it's hard, but the restaurant is the peak of what they wish they could do. Not me, man. I used to work at a little grill, and the garbage was the worst part of it. I was low man on the totem pole, and I would have to handle that. And I wasn't very strong, so handling the garbage was like the peak of what I could do physically. And it was just such a freaking nightmare. And there's nothing grosser than restaurant garbage for me. I mean, it's just so bad. Does any other organization produce worse garbage?
Nursing home.
Okay.
All right, well, checkmate.
It's just a matter of being better packaged.
Every once in a while, there's a person in there.
we had a big issue. Like the garbage is always leaky and stuff, and we had to like transport the whole can to the dumpster because if you were to grab the bag and carry that to the dumpster, it would leak across the boardwalk, and that you don't want that.
Wheelbarrow.
A wheelbarrow.
Full of McDonald's garbage.
Yeah, there would be like multiple bags, like probably 4 to 5 big bags, like the big 50-something gallon ones, and you'd throw them in the wheelbarrow, and wheel it across the parking lot to one of those sort of enclosed dumpster situations, and then bag by bag throw it in there. And I don't know, even at 15, I was about 6 feet tall, so they would make me do that shit because a lot of times it would just be me working with a bunch of girls, or me working with a bunch of girls and that retarded guy they allowed to sweep the parking lot or some shit like that. I thought it was gonna be a fun job. I had a couple friends that were working there, and I thought, oh yeah, we'll be like, you know, singing songs while we throw pickles at each other. But no, it was just super lame. My boss was such a goober. Like, I was cooler than him even as a 15-year-old working at McDonald's, and I knew it. He had married into like that McDonald's family, like the lady who actually owns the franchise, right? He had married her daughter, so he had married into like a little local Mickey D's royalty, and he thought he was hot shit.
Cha-ching.
Yeah, right.
No other
Like,
than
oh
my
yeah,
guess.
the money fountain has turned on for you, my friend. You're
No. The nuggets are on me.
Dude,
I stole so much food. I would always like I don't even like McDonald's nuggets, but they were there and they were free. So I would have
They weren't
little
free. You
packets.
stole them.
Yeah, they were free for me. So I'd have like packets of nugget sauce, like open, kind of like tucked around behind shit, and I would just be like eating nuggets all the time. Or sometimes I would just grab a whole meat patty and like just I just thought it was great to steal the food. So anytime I got a chance to steal some food, I would do it. I would bake like 2 or 3 cherry pies and then go in the freezer and like fucking eat 3 cherry pies as fast as I could. Shit like that.
I had a
Just
hookup
cram
at
in your
McDonald's.
face like you're like Oliver Twist in the back, hoping they don't catch you as you're slaving over hot stove.
I had a friend who worked at McDonald's, and he worked the drive-through, big strong guy, and we'd go and we'd order like a small fry, you know. And back in the day, a small fry was like 50 cents or something, and then he'd give us like $21 worth of food. You know, he just like, you know, it just like bag after bag after bag, and it's like how far is this gonna go? And then you know you do hand him over 2 quarters, and I guess we're even.
I told you guys about my friend from Buffalo Wild Wings, right?
Yes, you ruined the. Wait, I read the story where the waitress fucked up, so maybe not. Tell us.
No, just all the stealing of food reminded me of this. When I was a freshman in college, someone I knew from my dorm worked at the Buffalo Wild Wings near campus, and he didn't work there all the time. And eventually got to the point where he was like, you know what, fuck this. Like, I'm not making good money. I'm only going when there's, you know, no games on, because I'm a student. I want to watch the games for real. So I'm just going to quit. And we're like, all right, cool. And so he quit. And his last night, he came back with must have been 20 pounds of boneless wings in the plastic bags, and a 5-gallon giant plastic pouch of honey barbecue sauce.
Nice.
And so he was rushing a fraternity at the time, and everybody fucking loved him because he just was like, hey, I got enough fucking honey barbecue wings for the next 3 weeks. And if you look it up on their menu, that's like $400 of wings or something ludicrous that he stole. And I guess I was like, well, how'd you get that out of there, man? Like, did you just sneak it out, or what'd you do? He's like, no, they got in the refrigerator, they got a huge bag of wings and then a big bag of sauce. And so I just said bye to my boss, and then I walked back there and took them and walked to my car. We were like, there was no plan. And he's like, no, I didn't really even think it through till I got back to campus. And it was like, God, fucking idiot. But
that's how it. So there was definitely no lock and key on the food at McDonald's. There just wasn't any good food at McDonald's to steal. Like I didn't want to take any of that home. But I did remember, like, you know, you get a free meal. So I would make my own meal, and I would make like a Big Mac. But I like their grilled chicken breast. I thought that was the actual best thing on the menu because it was tasty. And I'd make like a double. I'd make a grilled chicken Big Mac. I always like coming up with like magical. I just make stuff, just add stuff to it. I definitely ate more. I ate more than they paid me. Like, they were paying me whatever it was, $5.15 an hour or something like that, and I was eating like $8 worth of shit an hour. I had to be.
That's a feat at McDonald's to out eat them,
especially old school. And McDonald's, did you see the Reddit post of like McDonald's Next or whatever they're calling it?
Yeah, it's so silly.
It looked amazing. It was a really seemingly high-end buffet McDonald's experience with an amazing salad bar, and like they were really changing their image. It was nothing like the McDonald's that I have in my head.
That's not that, because they're not doing as well as they used to. I think they've had bad numbers the last few years, so they're trying to figure something out. I know they just released some sort of new like dollar deal thing where you can get like 4 or 5 items for like $4 or something like that. I think it's like 5 things for $4, something like that. So they're really reaching, but going high end is not their.
I feel like people dog on McDonald's so hard that they need to totally make it like the opposite. Like, gosh, I've been telling this story a lot recently, but to tell it quickly, when I first worked at Cisco, I used to kind of, I don't want to say disrespect my manager, but I would maybe point out their stupidity. Like, I was much smarter than my managers, and every little thing they did, I'd just kind of poke at. Like, if it's Wednesday and they're like, so 2 days from now, that'll be, and all I need to do is like make a look, or like you're seriously struggling to figure out Friday is 2 days from Wednesday. That kind of shit I would do constantly. Like, they just make little mistakes and I wouldn't let it slide. Eventually they counseled me to fix it, and I did, but it took forever for people to notice the change. I was frustrated by that. They're like, yeah, well, you like to poke at your managers. I'm like, no, I stopped 6 weeks ago. You can't.
Were you the resident badass on the floor at Cisco where like you're walking by and Pajit or whatever his name is, like, he goes, that is Matt. He does not give a fuck what the manager says. It is crazy. Just watch him sometime. He says all of these things. I cannot believe it.
It was pretty cool. It was the .com boom, and engineers were like every bit as valuable as their bosses were, and I maybe took advantage of that. But anyway, so I cleaned up my act. I started being really good, and 6 weeks later, it was like I still had this reputation for being a douche. At McDonald's, I feel like they've got a similar type thing. Like they are McJob is a thing. No one says like Job King or Wendy Job or whatever it is. It's McJob. That's like the job that everyone makes fun of. I think they have to pay extra just to get people to choose them over Wendy's. If they want to clean up their like dietary act and make it healthier, they need to go extreme. People think of McDonald's as the food that makes you fast, right? The Super Size Me thing was based on McDonald's. Everybody freaking like throws darts at McDonald's, maybe deservedly, but to fix it, McDonald's can't just be as good for you as Wendy's, which is not that good. They need to be as good for you as Whole Foods or something.
Have you walked into McDonald's recently? Like the redone ones? Like I haven't been to a shitty McDonald's. I can't even remember how long. All of them are nice if you go in on the inside. I don't know. In my heart, I just kind of look down on McDonald's and say, like, I wouldn't eat at a place like that. Like, this temple here gets better food than that. But I might be off target.
Wendy's.
Right?
Chick-fil-A.
It's better. Chick-fil-A is infinitely better than McDonald's. For the quality, it's got to be.
I think I'm the only guy that still holds a grudge on their, like, Christian anti-gay hate bigotry. Like, even my daughter, who you would think would be very stick to her guns about that sort of thing.
A little fickle when it comes to that hate chicken.
She's like, those bigots make a good sandwich.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Look,
if they had, go ahead.
They could literally be grinding gays up to make that chicken, and I would still eat it. That chicken is so fucking good. It's sweet almost somehow, and the batter is different. The whole experience is different. I like the waffle fries. I like the sweet tea. I like the lemonade. I don't care what they're doing if they were going after if they were going after me personally, I would still eat their chicken. It's good chicken.
Put a mask on.
McDonald's used to have on their bags, it'd be like Mia Hamm's choice or like Michael Jordan's pick, and it's like a Big Mac, which he clearly didn't eat. Chick-fil-A could have like the Grand Wizard's selection, and it's like a PKA thing with his nuggets. Like, I'd still eat it. It's great. And they're so nice to you there compared to every other fast food place. Like, they don't even say, you're welcome. They say, my pleasure.
Dude,
at the ones near me.
Chick-fil-A franchises are cheap. Like, as much as I hate the idea of owning a restaurant, I was like, maybe. Because you can get a Chick-fil-A franchise for like $400,000.
They'll give you a Chipotle franchise. They'll pay you $500 just to open one at this point.
So yeah, Chick-fil-A, like McDonald's, or I'm sorry, a good Wendy's location will be like $3 million. I looked into this recently. And a Chick-fil-A will be like $250,000 to $400,000. It's like, what is the scoop with this? And they're way more profitable than a Wendy's.
They're always packed.
But like, they kind of select you. They make sure that you're a good Christian before you can open a Chick-fil-A. You have to like work your way up to owner at Chick-fil-A. Like Wendy's, they'll sell me a fucking franchise. I'll be like, I don't know anything about owning a restaurant. No problem. We'll send you to Wendy's Academy. At Chick-fil-A,
Like you need to have worked the register for a while and be selected. They need to get to know you. It's a different culture.
If I were going to open a franchise, it would be Cookout. I've said this before, but every time I go to it, the place is just called Cookout. They've got a really massive menu. They do everything from hot dogs and hamburgers to they got like 50 different milkshakes and I don't know, quesadillas and just a little bit of everything, kind of like a Jack in the Box type place, but it's better. It's much better. And I've seen, yeah, kind of. But every time I've seen them open up, I saw one open up in Anderson, South Carolina, and I saw one open up in East Atlanta. And the lines for the first couple of months are so outrageous that it causes traffic problems. Like the one in East Atlanta, you didn't even use the standard ordering technique. They used cones to make a giant line that just went around the borders of the parking lot. And when you first got it in the back of the line, if you're the last person, a guy comes to your car and hands you a paper menu, and you've got like 5 minutes to look over this menu before you get to the point in line. And you're in your car still, of course, where you get in point in line where someone says, okay, what would you like? And they write it down on a piece of paper and give it to you. And when you finally get to the speaker, you don't order. You hand it to another guy and he says it into the speaker. And then you wait some more. And it's absurd, this line. And it literally, I'm not exaggerating, 3 a.m, it's still like that. And I'm just thinking they're bringing in so much cash selling these hot dogs and hamburgers to these people. It's ridiculous. And it was true in both cases, and it is good food.
I haven't even heard
I get one of those. Yeah. I think they're small. I've only seen maybe 3 or 4 ever.
I'd probably open a Steak and Shake, but I would break the mold with Steak and Shake and not hire any ex-felons. No ex-felon. Have you ever been to a Steak and Shake? This isn't a joke. I've never been to a Steak and Shake and felt comfortable. I've never walked in and it's a 50s style diner, and you walk in and sit down, and you'll just look over, and the line cook will be giving you a surly look. It's I didn't do anything to you, man. I'm just trying to get, and now you don't feel comfortable ordering. If you ask for one thing, like a special order, I want the ketchup and onion, slider, but just, throw some mustard on there too. Or to get rid of the onion. They'll just, ugh. I had a waitress give me an audible groan once when I asked for extra Frisco sauce on my Frisco melt. Yeah, Frisco melt, extra Frisco sauce, because your fucking location always fucking rips me off with the Frisco sauce. Like you're rationing Thousand Island back there. Stop pretending that it's an actual sauce you made up. It's fucking Thousand Island, and we all know it. Put it on there. Just, all right, sir. It's like I know you're on parole, but come on.
Smile.
Give me a smile.
I think Five Guys would be a good one to get too, because they don't have a lot of. So I think Subway's might be the best, because Subway is so simple that there's not a lot of overhead. I feel like you could run a Subway out of a shack in your backyard. But Five Guys isn't much bigger. They've just got a couple of grills and a fryer, because all they do is French fries, hot dogs, and hamburgers. That's it. I think they do a vegetable
shit you can put on the burgers, though.
Yeah, but I mean, all that stuff comes in bags and just goes in a little thing. It's ketchup and mustard and mushrooms and jalapeno peppers. That's all stuff that comes out of a bag or a jar. And I think they don't even freeze the meat, so they don't have the meat storage issue. It shows up fresh every day. So that's got to be.
Have you heard that thing about how Wendy's will say fresh, never frozen?
Yeah.
Apparently there's some kind of stipulation about what needs to occur before you can claim something is fresh, never frozen. And so Wendy's will have it frozen on their trucks. This could be some bullshit that I just read, but who knows? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But Wendy's will have it frozen on the trucks, but make it so that by the time it gets to their respective franchises and chains, it's not frozen anymore. So it arrives to them not frozen. So they're allowed to say, this has never been frozen,
Yeah.
I'm the Wendy's manager. To my knowledge, it just shows up.
So I alluded to that story on PKN, and I was told that I could tell that story if you guys want
about
to hear
the old fashioned. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to try to start at the beginning, and just know that I've had to interview 3 different people to get all of this. And so if I get things just a little bit misconstrued with the timeline, I apologize, but I'm doing the best I can. There's just so much to take in. So this is a story about a guy who's 21 years old, who's tangentially related to some friends of mine in their gaming group. And
How's
stuff.
his ass?
Big. He's about
tell
3
story.
Big. He's 300 pounds. He's a 21-year-old guy, and he's a virgin. and he's a very fragile, emotional guy. It turns out, I put that together through a lot of these stories. But long story short, they're doing this big meetup. Everybody's going to meet at one guy's house, and they're going to party and hang out, kind of like what I did in Colorado with my buddies. But they're going somewhere else.
I find it hard to believe that 21-year-old 300-pound virgins watch a dope show like this. But carry on.
Well, that's the thing. They said he doesn't watch anymore, so it's cool. So he drives 16 hours to this friend's house, this gaming friend. They all meet at the house. Let's call it three to five of them, and they're trying to figure out the sleeping situation, right? Because it's not a mansion. And he's like, "Oh, don't even worry about me. I like to sleep on the floor in my sleeping bag, just like at the dorm." He hasn't ever slept in a bed. He's been sleeping in a sleeping bag on the floor always. That's how he feels comfortable. No beds for him. Don't worry about it. So he also notices
out of that. Like the Blind Side.
He also notices that the grass isn't cut at this guy's house, who, his host. He's like, "Hey, I noticed your grass wasn't cut." He's like, "Yeah, I don't know." And so the guy wakes up the next morning. They partied that night, so call it 11 a.m. And we'll call this guy Pete. Pete is our star. Pete cut the fucking grass at 5 a.m. that morning with this man's lawnmower. Not only that, because the man doesn't own an edging tool like a weed eater, he went and got one so that he could edge this man's yard up real nice.
The 21-year-old 300-pound virgin is out doing labor.
Out at the crack of dawn, cutting this man's yard and edging it up without being asked or asking for permission himself. So they go to the casino that night, right? And they're like, playing slots and stuff like that, just penny slots. And someone's explaining to this Pete like how casinos work, how there's no clocks on the wall, so you can't tell where you are, and all this money is just getting poured in. And like, I know I'm losing right now, I just don't care. And he starts crying. Pete starts crying because it's such an awful thing.
The idea of gambling?
Idea of sort of Western civilization and how wasteful and vice-filled we are. And just the casino environment, it upsets him so much he cries.
He's like the Green Mile.
He's
absorbing all this pain.
So that night they decide, after a bit of gambling, they're going to go to the strip club, right? Let's see some titties, right? So they're walking in, and one of the guys, who's normal, says, "When's the last time you saw a lady's tits in person?" And he goes, "Oh, maybe 2 weeks ago. My mom was changing. I was hanging out with her, having a chat, and she,
okay,
she was changing."
That's hilarious. Wasn't
it
a joke?
No. And they go, "You didn't. You looked at your mom's boobs?" He's like, "Well, we were having a conversation. It's rude to just turn your back."
Okay. You know what? He's right.
All right, so things are going to
Norman Bates now.
If I was talking to you when you turned your back, Kyle, I wouldn't like that.
Dick, the things are going to start adding up here very quickly. Okay, so we get into the strip club, and the boys know that this guy's a virgin, so they're like, "Let's send him in the back with a girl, and let's tell her it's on us, and let's let him have some fun."
Hooking him up, yeah.
He's a rough-looking guy. Let me just say that right out the gate. I don't know what you're picturing, but
rough like Wild West, like pirate, or
rough like Hodor when he was a younger fella. And so Pete goes in the back with this vile fucking stripper, but by the time it's over, he has gotten himself a condom on $500 hand job. And
wait, what?
And a condom on $500 hand job right there in the back.
That condom on. All right.
Okay. And at some point, like, she gets on his phone and is literally trying to transfer money out of his bank account. He's like, no, don't do that. And so get in the car, and they're driving home, and they hear a noise in the back of the car.
Again?
He's sobbing because the hand job was so traumatic. He's sobbing over the traumatic hand job. And what's more, and I'm not going to laugh at this because it's so dark, that night and every night afterwards, he had night terrors about the hand job and how traumatic it was.
And I was just laying there. I was awake, but I couldn't know she was beating my dick.
Nocturnal emissions with his the first ever case.
Yeah.
He decides there's only...
She gets the phone and transfers all his money.
That's right. I have the night terrors.
It gets so much worse. He decides there's only one cure for these night terrors. He has to replace that terrible sexual experience he had with a good one. So what does he do? Get on Tinder, maybe hit the scene, like going bar to bar, just talking to girls? No, he finds himself a prostitute. She's 2 hours away or something. She's $200 an hour and 1 hour away. That's the score.
Okay.
She's pretty hot, I'm told. Like think hot chick. I looked at her profile and it's just her ass, so it's that's all I got to go on. But they said she was pretty. He drives an hour, and he buys an hour with her. But he's so scared that they cuddle and watch TV for the entire hour. And she's like, honey, I've got another date after this. Like, that's it. And he's like, okay, thank you, ma'am. And and he drives back to them an hour back.
No.
But he's still horned up and he's talking to them. He's like, you know what? I think I'm ready. So he calls her back.
He's gotta be running out of money.
No, he's on. Trust me.
Okay.
He's got way too much. The girl who was trying to transfer the money out of his bank account, she almost got it all, but the prostitutes and the strippers, they're not there yet. He decides, I can do it this time, so he books 2 hours this time, and so he shows up.
Virgins are known for how long they last.
He gets himself a good 30-40 minutes of cuddling in, and then he says he has sex with her twice, and it lasted for a total of 1 minute and 15 seconds. Both
Each?
times. No. No. He also described.
He could have, in theory, booked 90 seconds instead of 120
This guy
minutes.
tells the truth too much. This is the most criminally honest person on earth.
Yeah, good. So when he
keeps
kills
going.
somebody, he'll confess right away.
He described her on top of him as missionary, so it's hard to tell if they actually had doggy or if what that actually meant. But that's what he said happened. And then he had 30 more minutes on the clock after he came the second time, and she was like, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking go.
Oh, God.
I'm peacing out, and she just left, straight up left, and so he drove back again. I'm imagining he's paying for hotels each of these trips out there as
She's
well.
not getting a good CUST survey.
No, he's not. Oh, he was so pleased.
I want to
with
see
the
her
service.
Yelp reviews.
I'll send it later.
She's a whore. And 5 stars.
My friend who was the host, it's his house who's getting like the yard done every night. He said, I had stocked the house with snacks, because I'm having all these guys come in. I've got beer and drinks and all sorts of like cookies and stuff. He's like, have you ever seen an obese person stress eat? And I started thinking about it. No, I haven't. When Wings of Redemption was at my house, I'll say this about Wings. When he was at my house, regardless of exercise or whatever, he did not go crazy with food ever once, unless he really somehow like snuck out in the night. And I do not believe that happened. He never went crazy with his diet at all. He said this guy went and got a 12-pack of moon pies. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Zach, but I think a moon pie is about 450 calories. A moon pie is graham cracker, marshmallow in the middle, and it's all covered in chocolate. It's just little
It's just
snack.
3 different kinds of sugar.
It's 3 different kinds of sugar, and they're
220,
wonderful.
he says. Okay.
Oh, that's all. Well, I don't feel so bad now. I think there's big ones though. See if these are the big ones. They're individually
What's a serving
wrapped.
size? Like a third of a moon pie?
Anyway,
That's how they get you.
He goes and gets a 12-piece box of them, and my friend's like, I looked over and I saw you had the box, and then I started watching TV for a few minutes, and we made it like 8 minutes into a video, and I looked back, and he'd eaten 8 of them, and I said, bro, they're individually wrapped for a reason. I was like, you did not say that. You did not say that to his face. He's like, I did. I swear on my mother's life. And one more thing. They were chilling on the couch, and like my friend's, chilling on his own. He's on his own couch, like curled up on the couch, watching TV or whatever. Maybe there's a group of guys around. It's dark. It's night. And he said Pete is very pedextrous, which means he can like do stuff with his feet. And he's always trying to play footsie with you and trying to pinch your toes with his big toe and his. And
I thought
toe right
pedextrous was when you could molest a child with both hands.
It was like when they told me all these stories, like they, oh, and then another time, I don't know if I mentioned this, but they're in the living room partying, like drinking and smoking and like music's playing. And all of a sudden they hear, and he's sobbing again in his sleeping bag behind the couch.
Is that 5 cries?
He cried every night.
Is that like, I think that might be the 5th cry.
He's like a foster dog.
He cried like the whole fucking time.
Like a foster dog.
Oh, and then the last thing, and this one kind of like made me feel bad about the whole thing. Like the last day he was there, I think it was time for him to go, but he drove himself. So, what time are you going to leave, right? You're going to leave at 10 a.m., right, buddy? No, it's like noon or something. He's still there. And he asked the host, he goes, hey, could we please watch the last episode of The Boys together? And he was like, Kyle, he asked so politely, there was no way to tell him no.
I like it.
So we sat and we watched the last episode, but I made him keep his shoes on.
So no, there was no footsie pinching?
No footsie
going
on whatsoever.
Why did this happen? Was this like an outreach program for special needs weirdos? House that you run?
It's just him trying to party with a bunch of guys, and they invited a guy they'd never hung out with before. And there's a few other things, but I can't tell them because it makes other people look bad too. And I don't want to do that. But the whole thing is real sad. And when I kept hearing the story from different people, and each person had more details. And the first person who told the story was him, by the way. So don't think I'm like talking behind his back. Like, he told us this fucking story. It is one of the saddest things I've ever heard. And the mom stuff, and the pinching my buddy's feet with his toes is just so bizarre.
That would upset me. I don't want someone else's feet touching my feet, or I don't want someone else's feet touching me.
Like, not a man.
When I was 4 years old, my grandpa would do that. It's like I'm gonna get you kind of thing. I don't want a grown ass man doing that shit to me in 2022, though. Okay, like Taylor, if we were chilling on the couch, stoned, like watching Lord of the Rings, and you started pinching even more realistically, if you tried to like pull a tuft of the hair that's on my feet and make some Hobbit reference with your toes, I'd get up and leave.
You know what I would do if you didn't leave? I'd be like, this fucking weirdo just let me do that.
Bro, you were supposed to freak out. I thought I was being edgy.
I was giving you a shit test and you failed. Get the hell out, sir.
So fucking weird.
That is, but I feel bad for this guy. Like, first of all, what was the total amount of cash he was out? Like,
feel bad for the hooker.
1,100.
Not the first hooker. The first hooker got to watch fucking King of the Hill for an hour and then go to the next job.
And toe cuddle with
hooker.
This guy.
Yeah. Same hooker twice. He just booked the same girl again.
Oh no,
the hot one though. You say no, but
it was a hot girl he had sex with.
She's not transferring all his bank account money, and she's hot, and she fucks him twice in 2 hours.
And I told him, I was like, that makes sense, because I think of hookers as, I don't know, decent women making a living, the old-fashioned way, and I think of strippers as like vile reptiles who can't be trusted, who'll go through your phone and steal your money.
He's also acting like it seems like in his head, being 21 and a virgin is like being 31 and a virgin. Like, you're 21. Like, you've got time to get it together. You're fine. Like,
no, he does not have it together. No.
I don't know what this person looks like. I'm saying he's got time to put it together. He's 21 Hodor. Years old. A young Hodor, tall. That speaks to
he's got grass stains on his shirt at 6 a.m. from secret midnight yard trimming.
The most bullshit thing that I heard in that whole story was this guy thought he was being courteous by mowing the lawn at 5 a.m. Dude, that is so. I would be livid if my neighbor started doing lawn work at 5 a.m.
Which dude is he, Kyle? Camera dude?
The one holding the camera. That'd be funny, right? Like, which one are you? I just like to take the pictures. So you're into photography? No. I just prefer it that way. He's I wrote it in there which one he is.
He needs to stop going. I think he's fucking himself over in the long run trying to speed run with this prostitute strategy.
You're wrong.
Because he's going to get older and older into his 20s without like learning how to organically like get something going in a conversation.
You're wrong.
Nah,
you don't think so?
That's good experience.
Here's what I think. I don't think, and like straight honesty, based on how odd he is, and again, being very honest here, how he looks there. I think that what he really needs to do is learn how to negotiate with prostitutes better. That's his best ticket in life. Like, learn how to negotiate with prostitutes better. And here's what you'll achieve. You'll achieve sex whenever you want it with women that you would never be able to sleep with otherwise.
I don't know.
For free if you're quick.
I think this guy has more charm than you're letting on, quick? Kyle. I think he has a very good shot at the third most popular host on this podcast, just based on his lawn care skills alone.
Okay, now that's fair. That's fair. I bet if he stayed at your house,
let him mow your lawn at 5.
I let him do a lot. If he mowed my yard.
Woody looking outside and Hodor's out there on his tractor, just going to town. It's like, Woody, I noticed that you didn't have a certain kind of disc mower, so you can't really get the angles. But I went and rented one. No, certain parts of that story made me think of him in a good way, and then certain parts made me very afraid of him, and like I would lock my door if he was at my house. So I don't know. Odd fellow. And the crying
in my stable if he was at my house.
The crying is a big thing. He's gotta get a handle on the open weeping. It's very unsettling to have a man openly weep around you.
Here's a good question.
When my mom died, I was like, come on, guys.
There's a time and place for some crying, but like
Taylor, I hope you get only one of those an episode of My Mom Died Trump card. Oh boy.
If I had a nickel for every time.
Here he goes, bingo. We're drinking. Taylor talking about his mom dying again.
Literally every time
Taylor does an Asian accent.
Okay, now that's fair. The Asian accent one, that is a bingo one. It's just so damn easy to do a bad one. Like it's just like there's no critique there. Like no one.
My mom died. She tried to kill me.
I have a GIF we have to watch. So we've seen those. I'm waiting on it to process. It's a thing. See if you can pause this. Yeah. All right. So after I link it, try to pause it so it doesn't get spoiled. So we've seen those evangelical churches where like the mega churches where like, oh man.
I'm just going to scroll up because it's auto-playing.
Yeah. Just try not to let it spoil for you.
I'm cute at the beginning.
Yeah. All right, so do that, Taylor. Open it and then pause.
Oh no, I'm at the beginning.
Okay, so we've seen those evangelical churches where you get cured of like diseases, and the preacher will like throw like fake slaps at you and stuff like that, and like drive the devil out. This is sort of a play on that. All right.
Ready, set, play.
So this preacher has found this woman who has some sort of ailment. He grabs her by the hair and jerks her head a few times. Now he has her on his shoulders. And I think he's realizing she's heavier than she looked. Wham!
He just threw her onto chairs.
He just threw her WWE style onto a stack of chairs.
The fuck?
But is she better?
He just body slammed this bitch into a whole bunch of fucking real chairs.
I like to think he did it because she was sleeping and that this has nothing to do with, he's like, you gonna, what?
Oh, this became some sort of game right now. I'm exiting out. But yeah, that's hilarious. That is so much better than the guy who goes around smacking people with coats, getting them to fall over. You remember that one?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I went to my girlfriend. We did our Easter with my family, and then I went to her Easter with her family. And part of her Easter is going to church. And so I was like, she's like, will you go to church with us? And I was like, yeah, sure. I don't care. And so I realized it was the first time I'd been to church in 10 years. 10 years I hadn't been to church. It was the first time I'd gone.
You heathen,
you. I know, I'm a piece of shit. And so we went to church and everything was fine. Like it was what I expected from a church, pretty boilerplate. And so as I was watching the sermon though, I realized like if I were really unethical, I could do that shit easy peasy. I could so easily rile people up about the word of the Lord. Press those buttons. Are you feeling guilty? Well, I'm not guilting you, but you feel a little guilty now, aren't you? Oh yeah, like little jabs, little religious
things. Does
things.
He do it with the enthusiasm you just did? Because I've been to church and it's boring as get out.
No,
it's terrible.
They don't even do it with that sort of charisma. Like I could start a church and have Christian followers a few weeks from now.
It would be easy as shit. Like all you have to do is be charismatic and bring just enough of God's hammer down while still offering the promise of redemption. Like it would be so fucking easy. And it really just came because I haven't been to a church since I was fucking, like late teens. And going there was like, oh my God, now I get it. Now I get the whole fraudulent, false prophet kind of pastor person who does this to make money, because it is so fucking easy to do this. Like it would be so easy.
The last time I went to, we gave church a chance when Hope was little, and maybe a lot of families do this, but let's see what this is all about. Maybe community, whatever. And it sucked so hard. I've talked about it on the show before. They worked super hard to get our money. I don't know if I talked about the sermons. That guy must have been over 80. And everyone was just in love with this guy. I can't even understand his words. He can hardly pronounce things. I don't think he's making complete points. I don't know if he's planned this before he got there or just went up and sort of winged it with English sounding sounds laced together into nonsense. I never got anything from it. I just knew they were taking attendance and we weren't into it. The guy was awful. And I'm looking around like, am I the only one that sees this? This guy doesn't speak. This guy has no charisma. I didn't learn any lessons. If he at least made me feel warm about the experience. Like, yeah, you know what? Church is my weekly like soul filler back-upper hour. Like if that happened, maybe I'd be into it. But no. It was like this fucking corrupt fuck can't speak. All they do is ask for like direct deposit transfer numbers. This is not the organization I want to be part of.
Oh yeah, and even like having not been to church in 10 years, like as he was given the sermon on Easter and all that, I was just like, oh yeah, I know what he's gonna say next. I know the plan. I know what you're gonna say. I know. Do you have direct deposit? You're coming in. Yeah.
Can your financial institution find the way into my pocket?
I am tax exempt. Yeah, he was.
That's what he does. The 360s with his hands there.
The Democrats would get smashed, but I would vote for this policy if they were like, you know what? Churches are for-profit businesses. They sell bullshit for cash. You can tax that. I'd be so on board.
Or and the whole reason they don't do it is because they're like,
as to what can be considered a church. Because if this little organization here could be considered a church, then keep it up. This
ties in to something I wrote down on my topic sheet for the evening. Is that the Satanic Church just achieved tax exemption from the U.S. government, and if they can do it, why can't we? Why can't we make the case that we're preaching our own word?
Do you believe that Kyle would like another car?
Do you believe that Taylor wants his mortgage paid off? Do you believe it?
There's no early payoff penalty. That's right. No penalty. Woo! Can you feel the power? Can you
feel the no early payment penalty? Can you feel it?
That's because it ain't there.
Can you feel my financial security improving with every dollar you drop in that plate? Can you feel it? I can feel it. Do you feel it, sir? Are you feeling the Lord in you? Are you feeling the Lord in you? That's the way you would do it to manipulate, especially, is you would call out individual people, put them on the spot. They'll either have to fake it or not fake it.
Every dollar you give to PKA is 2 more in your pocket. That's right. Woo! It come right back to you.
Every dollar you give, you get a bottle of holy water. Now you pour that holy water all over your bills and you throw those bills away because those collectors, they ain't coming. They ain't coming. No, this is literally a thing. I think it was like something Popov was his last name. He was this scam artist piece of fucking shit who took advantage of people who just wanted a better life for themselves. And he would sell people holy water. Yep. And then he would have testimonials where it was someone like, I ordered Jimmy Popov's holy water and all my bills disappeared. They started sending me checks in the mail instead. All my power's free now. And like literally that level of lies and duplicitousness with these pastors. Like what these people do isn't just not Christian, it's fucking evil. Those pastors out there, if Christianity is real, guess what? You're burning in the lowest depths of hell. The lowest depths. You're a false prophet. You're a piece of human shit.
That's
like,
how I feel about
than anyone.
Policemen that rape and like do bad shit too. Like
luckily all this shit's made up. So buy Kyle's miracle water today.
It may say Dasani, but it's got the word of the Lord.
It's just you don't even repackage it.
It's just Dasani.
Are you cursed with pepperoni nipples so large and disgusting you can't bear to look at them? You just put a little Kyle's miracle Dasani on them big old nasty nipples and they'll shrink down and be sexy.
I am not part of that. I have nothing to do with that.
That's right. What is not attached to the big pepperoni nipples? Do
you have a 3.5-inch dick hard? Well, then why don't you try fucking a bottle of Dasani holy water? Your dick will get so big it'll get stuck in the bottle. So pull it out quick. Oh Lord, I feel the dick growing energy inside. The Lord your God, Jesus Christ, had the biggest penis the world has ever seen.
Your dick would get stuck in the bottle if it worked. You have a real problem
that's
on
how
your
you
hands.
know it worked.
Well, that's part of the joke.
That's right.
That's right. I want to keep doing pastor voice.
Oh, your dick will be so big and your nipples so tiny, you won't believe your eyes.
Does your bitch have some big ass nipples? Put your hand up. Put your hand up if your bitch has a big ass nipple. I see a lot of hands. I see a lot of hands in the house tonight. You want some Dasani holy water? Get those nipples little. Say, Lord, give me those little nipples. Lord, give me those little nipples.
Give it to me, Lord. Itty bitty nipples, give them to me, Lord.
Ghost nipples. Itty bitty ghost nipples.
Woo! Ghost nipples in the house, Lord. I feel the power of the Holy Ghost.
No, these are Holy Ghost nipples. Oh, that's so dumb.
I don't care if it hurts your feelings.
Let's get Woody's dad on the show about our interpretation of this epistemology.
It would be. I wish we could do that because, you're probably thinking that because his position is ridiculous, according to me, that you'd bowl him over in any kind of debate, but you wouldn't. He's really smart, and he knows everything about the Bible. Like
I bet. Like,
yeah,
no doubt.
I don't think
all my little tongue-in-cheek things. He would beat me in a theological discussion 10 times out of 10. Like I know more than the average bear about the Bible since I've read it twice. But like it's
his hobby reading it. Like it's hard to know how many times he's read it, and then he'll read it, and then he'll he just loves watching other people's interpretations of it and compare and contrast, and he goes to Bible study 3 times a week. You know why? Can't find a fourth.
He just loves it.
Yeah,
and you like that.
That's
makes
a quote.
Wish.
Like I didn't make that up. Like that's what he told me.
That's awesome. Like I wish.
I bet his nipples are
into it.
pinpricks.
Oh my god, tiny little ghost nipples.
You can't even see them.
Yes,
refrigerator filled with Dasani.
Son, your mama's nipples disappeared in 1987.
I'm not talking about my mom, dude. Keep it nice. Keep it nice.
You wouldn't even believe where they were when you started.
Yeah, don't talk about my mom.
They covered half of the titty.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh, that's funny. Like, but like, wouldn't it be kind of comforting to be able to believe that? Like, it seems like that's the best way to live out the end of your days. And like, belief isn't a choice, so you can't choose to believe something. But like,
it's a gift.
I even thought that. I thought that when I was at church. Well, they say faith is a gift.
Faith is the gift. Yeah,
given the gift of faith, but which seems to like make the playing field not very fair. So like.
That's
just
like
being able
saying
to believe
like
that though would make you so much happier. You'd go into death happier. You'd believe that every little thing you were doing had a purpose. It really. I'm not saying it's real. I'm saying that.
Oh no! I'm following you 100%.
Would be healthy.
But couldn't you say the same thing about being retarded though? Like, what if your life's like? What if the thing that made you happiest in life was another bag of gummy bears? and you're just
Well, I mean, being retarded would be pretty cool then. But you can't buy your own gummy bears.
That's true. Well, I mean, you're already working at the grocery store.
You could.
I'm just saying. Like, sure. I guess I wish I believed. You know.
Yeah, it would be way better to just
I take that
off
back
and believe it's coming. Like,
I just wish it were true.
Rapture and everything.
I just wish it were true. Because if it were true, I feel like God would ever occasionally come down and be like, "Whoa, ISIS, you're gonna kill 250 people on Easter? Lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt." And we'd be like, "Did y'all see Jesus come down with that burning sword and kill all of those terrorists? Yeah, it was nutty. I saw it on CNN. I'm going to church Sunday. I don't know about you."
Yeah, in the Game of Thrones universe, the fire god's the only one actually doing shit. Yeah, so that's the right one, I guess.
Well, I mean, Bran's got
in this universe,
no
gods are doing anything, so we don't know which one.
Yeah. For all I know, Poseidon is up to something. I mean, I see a lot of ships sinking. You know, I see a lot of hurricanes and tsunamis. That's real. For all I know, Poseidon's the real one.
Being the god of the sea would suck because all the people are on land.
Yeah, they better stay there too. Those non-believers.
I think being the god of sea would suck because there's no internet connectivity underwater.
That's where the internet cables are.
Maybe there's a way tap into that.
Yeah, Poseidon's got the fastest internet in the world. Just tap directly into it. I always when I was younger, I always thought like, man, it would be cool if instead of like Jesus and shit, that like the Roman or the Greek gods were still the really popular ones because they were at least interesting. They were almost like an incestuous Friends cast. You know, they were just that they were all about, fucking each other, having kids, fucking their kids. Zeus actually
they fucked a lot of regular people and made demigods.
Oh yeah,
that's how they made Hercules. Right?
I think that's the story to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Kind of. Zeus would take on the form of animals sometimes and fuck bitches, and so they would act that out in the gladiatorial arena. There were these guys, they were called like bestiaries or something like that, and their job would be to like train the animals to fuck chicks. So they take like the estrus from like a giraffe in heat, and they'd smear it all over some very unfortunate woman, and then the giraffe would come and fuck them to death.
Whoever made up that religion had a kink. I'm pretty sure. Look at Taylor's Frozen in that picture. Do you look down on the players that lose money? Like I can imagine this scenario where pretending a wealthier version of me is like, yeah, I'll probably lose 20 grand tonight, but I'm going to be at the same table with Daniel and this guy and that guy, and I find that to be worth it. Do you look at that guy and think he's an idiot or just on vacation? It's okay.
Listen, you know what? Listen, if you've made a fortune in your life where you can just blow 20 or 30,000, who's the idiot, right? A lot of these poker players who mock like the businessman. I know this guy. He's like billionaire. He's bad at poker. He comes in, you'll lose 100,000, 200,000. People go, oh, what a fish he is. I'm like, he could buy you 20 times over. He lives an awesome life on an island, travels the world, has a hot girlfriend.
He does your job for fun.
And he's just having fun. So you like, it's just like when you think of the bigger game, the bigger poker game, Wall Street or whatever the case may be, they're playing high stakes. So like, I don't mock those guys. If anything, I respect and envy them.
Yeah.
That's good.
That'd be so fucking sick. Imagine having enough money that you could lose like $115,000 and then be able to sleep that night.
Right?
Like, be like, whatever.
It's just like that story I told you guys a while back.
You should try it. The first time I lost over $1 million, it was 1.3 million in a game. I slept like a baby. It was like a solid 10 hours.
Was that the case of beer contributing to that?
No, sober as a judge after a 23-hour session, burning, just blowing up my bankroll, slept like a baby.
It's like that story. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever heard of Dan Bilzerian. He's a big poker player, and So I was hanging out with Dan a few years ago, and he was telling me this story. He was playing at some other guy's house, and who had regular, really big private cash games, and one of the players had gotten they're in a massive mansion somewhere, this incredible home, this multi-million-dollar home, and one of the guys wanders away from the game. And I guess he really had to shit. And before he found the bathroom, it started happening. And so he has shit
in little puddles as he has traversed the home looking for the bathroom. He's pooped everywhere,
This guy.
like all over the carpet. And then I guess he got a little tuckered out, so he hopped into a random bed where a bunch of coats were, and now there's poop all over the bed. And somebody runs to the homeowner, right? This guy with this $10 million home. He's like, look, Larry has shit everywhere. He shit in the hallway. He shit in the living room. He has shit in your guest bed. He's like, Larry loses $600,000 here every weekend. He can shit in my mouth if he wants to.
That's a good story.
You know, it wasn't until the last sentence of that story that I realized Larry's a pretty cool guy. I was thinking, what a fucking loser, and then, damn. That's pretty alpha. Yeah, I shit where I want.
Where I want.
Tell me what to do, bitch. Yeah.
Daniel, I got a question. So 90s NBA players genuinely hated each other, actually disliked competitive, off the court, like they didn't like each other. Current NBA players, they're competitive, but there's a bit of a fraternity that they're all in. Where do poker players fit in that spectrum? Is that your dog, Taylor?
No, it's my dogs. They're going nuts.
I would not have said
somebody come
anything
in.
if I knew it was your dog, Daniel.
See?
Daniel
Sorry.
can bark anywhere he wants to. So, So where do they fit? Are you and the other players that it seems like you're butting heads at the table actually friends when you're away from the table, or where are we?
I think you have a combination, right? I would say overall a lot more on the friendlier side, like current NBA. But then you always are going to have rivalries where people like literally, we call it heads up for roles, right? Where like I'm cocky, my ego's, being challenged, your ego's being challenged. We're like, oh yeah, you want to fucking go? Throw all your money down and let's play heads up, just me and you. Let me bust you. So there's definitely a bit of both.
Bust all over you.
Bust all over you. Yeah. That's what
That'll show me.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, how about I
Like-
suck your dick? How would you like that?
Yeah.
To me, some of the most dramatic moments are the ones where it like a lot of the times, especially in the cash games that I've watched, it's very lighthearted despite the numbers at stake and stuff like that. But when I see, in particular, Phil Hellmuth get really tilted, like there's a famous clip on YouTube of you getting him 4 times in a row, I think, and you're bluffing maybe 3 out of the 4 hands, and he's just like, "I'm too good for you, Daniel, but one of these times I'm actually going to have some." And he just throws away top pair, and you've got nothing, and you're just like, "Yeah, eventually you're just gonna get me." Yep, and you just pull all of his money toward you, and it's funny, but everybody loves to hate Phil Hellmuth. But sometimes I watch Mike Mattisau, and I'm like, does he need an intervention?
Yes.
Should someone be stepping in right now? And instead of being like, yeah, Mike, here's another $100,000, shouldn't they be saying, Mike, let's get you a cab?
To fill it in, for those of us who don't know who this Mike character is he just always losing heaps of money?
Well, it's hard to tell because I'm the outside. Obviously, I'm on the outside looking in, and there's some editing involved. Like Daniel could probably answer that question better than I could. But from my point of view, it seems like he takes some rough beats and loses a lot of money that maybe he shouldn't have been gambling to begin with.
Well, I mean, listen, you look at a guy like Mike, do you think he has a job? Where do you think he gets his money? He has been a professional poker player for a very long time. He's not nearly as good as he thinks he is. And so when he's playing against really tough competition, that's probably what you're referring to. He's got an old school mentality, and a lot of these young guys just like whip him around. And, he's got like issues, like lots of them. Right?
Can you dive into that? Because I didn't understand it. Yeah. How does old school versus young guys, what does that mean?
Okay. Huge difference, right? So old school players have a way of thinking that's totally different than, the young players. Young players today use software. They're constantly on the computer figuring out game theory, like we call it GTO, game theory optimal. They're trying to figure out the best approaches, and they're doing things differently based on, the mathematics behind the game. Old school players are a little more fly by the seat of your pants, like
intuitive.
And if you don't, intuitive. But like a lot of them, if you don't have respect for the younger generation, they're just going to destroy you, right? Like you can't be that guy who thinks like, it's almost like I would imagine in sports, like anyone from this era going back to play poker in 1995 would destroy it, like absolutely crush it, just with the evolution of anything. Like we talk about Wilt Chamberlain, we talk about these basketball players from back in the day. Like, all right, well, how would freaking Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan do in that league? Okay. They score 400 points a game back then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it evolves. And I think a lot of old school players are slow to make the adjustment or the acknowledgement that like what worked for you then ain't going to work no more.
Have you always been more in your own personal approach, more analytics driven, kind of doing the online, like studying game theory, all that?
No, I was always like the feel old school guy, but I realized like in order to stay competitive at the highest levels, I'd need to learn how to use these freaking things. Like you guys were with the mic and all this setting this up. I hate this shit. It's like I need a guy to do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I hired a guy.
That guy turned it on for you.
Yeah,
someone came over.
I hired a computer scientist and another guy who's a pro who understands how to use these, you know, this computer. Because if you're like new to it, you look at it and you're like, okay, what do I do? What do I do with these simulations and stuff? So they helped me so I could update my game. But I would say absolutely, I come from the old school kind of. We call it exploitative play. So game theory, the idea behind game theory is like you do something that no matter what you do, you can't lose, right? So the best way to describe it is, you ever played like rock, paper, scissors?
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. So if you were playing game theory optimal, you'd throw 1/3 rock, 1/3 paper, 1/3 scissors, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be like, if you did that, you know, randomly, there's no way that anyone could beat you. However, there's no way you can win either. Because no matter what the opponent throws, you know, you're going to win about 33% of the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what good poker players do is they do what's called exploitative play, which they know what the, you know, the baseline break-even thing is, but they adjust to the opponent. So, for example, if I was playing against one of you, and I'm like, well, this guy, you know, he folds when I bet. So I'm going to bet against him more. Or this guy, he always calls me. So I'm going to, you know, make sure that I'm not bluffing against him. So we make adjustments based on the tendencies we find about our opponents.
Okay.
And that lesson you just got, that's like $55,000 worth of value you just got. If you can get into games with Dan Bilzerian, it might be 1.2 million.
I doubt that's true. I don't think I can convert that into any money. I think it'll cost me 55 grand to see if you're right.
I like to play high stakes war. You beat me again.
That is interesting, though, and well phrased. Still happy to have you as a guest.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It's one of those things that the more you look into it, like as I knew you were coming on, as I was looking into, you know, kind of trying to learn a little bit more about poker, and I'm in my late 20s, and I until probably a week ago was still on board with like it's pretty much all luck, because I've never watched poker online. I didn't really know, not all luck, but I thought that a lot of the bluffing, you know, was, you know, not nearly as impactful as it really is. You know, I felt bad for not believing the official
Sorry,
Communist Party of China
today.
government.
And the thing I keep saying about everyone getting it and just developing an immunity to it so it's not as bad the next time around, I'm finding you convince me I'm crazy sometimes, but every time I look into it, that becomes the truth. And when I talk to people who aren't you, they also have that same impression. So I'm still stuck there.
I talk to people who aren't you.
Yeah.
There are a lot of flat earthers out there.
There are a lot of people who aren't Kyle.
Who think I'm not sure if the three of you are aware of this. There's a whole movement of people. They don't think birds are real.
Well, they're not.
I think the birds are being charged
by the power lines. That's why they sit there.
No. Everybody is in quarantine so they can charge the birds.
That's what it is.
Not heard that one?
I have literally seen illustrations. I have seen illustrations of like what the inside of a bird supposedly looks like, and it's all mechanical, like the fucking Terminator.
Yeah.
What is the name of this website?
Obviously, birds are a modern invention. You don't see any old pictures of birds like from Egypt.
That's where I'm. You know, whenever something comes up, I don't dismiss things out of hand. I don't say, "Ha, bullshit." I'm too smart to even look into that. No, I'll look into even the craziest things. But all I had to do was do what you just did, Woody. I went, man, I'm pretty sure they talk about birds in the Bible and like all sorts of ancient text. You know, like Da Vinci was
okay.
There's plenty of illustrations. I mean, look at the Egyptian hieroglyphics, you know, with the birds and on them and shit, you know, like, and then
the bones from the dinosaurs. And
maybe they've been here the whole time, watching, waiting. And then I realized that that's absurd because I've shot many birds in real life and torn them apart with my hands and eaten them, and there were no metal bits in there.
Riddle me this: is the birds aren't real movement dinosaur denial?
I'm familiar with the dinosaur denial movement as well.
Are they the same people though? Because
No.
dinosaurs were birds, is my understanding from like.
Oh well, you would have to believe
every channel show.
These are not the type of people who believe in evolution. So you're going down 2 or 3 paths that they're just not going to go with. They believe that fossils are a hoax because the first dinosaur wasn't discovered until, and I'm just making a year up here, but like it was like 250 years ago when the first dinosaur was ever discovered, the first fossils, and then all of a sudden they're finding them everywhere. And they're like, you're telling me we didn't find one for all of human history until like Jimmy Popcorn did in 1797, and then he opened up a circus showing them off? Bullshit. The resin casts.
As if like before that, when people stumbled upon it, they're like, man, this must have been one hell of a bear.
I think that's what you're looking at in ancient depictions of dragons. Is people discovered dinosaur fossils and they were like, holy fucking shit, this must have been a dragon.
Just putting the pieces together. So I'll have to look more into the birds aren't real. I do like this t-shirt. I might buy it of like the old propaganda style art, but instead of like some like masked, Illuminati puppeteering the media and the government, it's just a bird.
Yeah, I don't think there'd be a whole birdsaren'treal.com website if birds were real.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Indisputable.
Now that is flawless logic.
What's a conspiracy theory that you actually believe in? You can't just say like the ones that have been literally proven to be like, holy shit, we really did do that Gulf of Tonkin thing. Holy crap, we really did test STDs on the Tuskegee in the Tuskegee experiments on African Americans. Like you can't come up with one of the ones that is like on Wikipedia factual, the U.S. government has admitted to already. What's one that you believe in that's still shadowy?
Man, that's tough because
lizard people. No, I'm joking. Okay.
I just want, so I always I hit the same well on this. I want to come up with a different one for the show, but I always hit the plane in Pennsylvania where the guy said, let's roll and went down. And I think it was shot down.
Yeah. I recently watched a lot of stuff about that and how like the coroner showed up to like identify, like label the bodies or whatever, looked around for 10 minutes and was just like, I'm going home. And they're like, why? Just like, there's nothing out there. It looks like there's just a hole in the ground. There's no wreckage. Like there's just, I'm more of the thought process. Here was the conspiracy theory that was being put forward in all the material that I recently looked into in my spare time, is that it didn't even go down. They were saying that they just shot a missile into the ground and scattered a little rubbish around. And then they landed the plane somewhere and smoked all the people that were on the plane, killed them.
Jesus, that's a lot more complicated than just shooting it down.
See, but I saw the engine and stuff. Like when I did that conspiracy debunking PowerPoint thing.
You sure you found the engine?
There was, I remember the photo of the engine and I remember how it hit the dirt. And one of my points was how scattered the plane was, how parts of it were here. And
I could have been lied to last week.
Speaking of that bit we did a while back, Woody, we need to do that again, like the structured conspiracy thing. Let's do that next week. That'd be fun.
I'm just doing the same one again.
Just doing the same one. But I remember how fucking funny it was that Woody had a PowerPoint and like you would make a point and then authoritatively be like, next slide. And next slide.
I wanted you to follow along.
That was really
It's like that scene in JFK. He's back and to the left, back and to the left.
I don't know what happened with the JFK thing, but I do believe it was more complicated than just Oswald doing that.
Yeah, I think
like there were more people in play. Yeah,
I think
who did it.
I don't know who did it either, but I think there's definitely a conspiracy at foot, at play there. I think
anytime I'm sorry, I cut you off. Anytime there's a president, he's going to have a lot of people who are against him. There's of course the other political side, and in his case there was like mafia and the Cuba and the Cubans and a bunch of you could just say Trump right now. Does anyone want to kill Trump? Oh well, surely lots of people do. He's in a couple of trade wars. There's motivation there. He's unpopular with the blue team. There's motivation there. You could look all over and find people who haven't acted, as far as I know. But good,
sure. Oh shit, I just forgot my conspiracy theory. The thing that I think that there have been previous civilizations that were advanced that got wiped out in the past.
Oh, really? How advanced are you talking about here?
Because they got to the stage of like large stone structures and organized society, like Egyptian style level organized government.
Wiped out? An epidemic?
Well, that book that I you know that I've read from the Graham Cochran guy, he suggests that it was the a comet strike that happened. I want to say 14,000 years ago.
I was afraid you were about to say pandemic.
No, it was it triggered this geologically proven period of global cooling called the Younger Dryas, where like a lot of the major animals in the world went extinct, and he thinks that was the cataclysm that like swept the earth clean of like whatever civilizations existed.
Undesirables.
It's possible.
Yeah, so that's the one that I think is. I've just watched.
Why are there no?
Listen,
okay.
It might not be a conspiracy, but it's more of like a science, like a astrology conspiracy, where there is this this barrier civilizations will reach, and then they'll just go extinct.
The great filter, right?
The great filter, right? Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think that's
dude. That's really interesting.
I've never heard of that.
Oh no, I wish I could. No. It's incredibly fascinating. If someone who understood it more completely explained it to you would be cool. But the core, Kyle, you want to take a shot at it? It sounds like you do.
I believe that the core part of it is there's this question, and it is why are we not, with our radio telescopes and our listening devices, able to detect intelligent life that's at least able to send out a radio signal or a laser signal of some kind? And so the great filter is the answer to that. It's all of these filters that not just a society but a life form has to evolve through to get to that point. And war and plague, or all of the four horsemen are part of that filter. And it's really interesting theory. Like I like to go down those YouTube.
The question is that filter that so pretty much you're going into the right direction. The one with the radio waves is even more complicated because us as a civilization might only use radio waves for a few hundred years or 1,000 years, which in the scale of the universe is like nothing, right? So it'll just see it for 1,000 years and then you won't see it. But pretty much the question is, why are we still alone in the universe, right? I feel like this is like an educational
even our planet has gotten to the point where we send satellites out past Pluto outside our solar system. You would think that, so there's one possibility is that we're first, that we're the most advanced society to have ever existed. But as a numbers game, that seems improbable, right? That we're literally the most advanced society to have ever existed in the universe. That seems improbable. There's so many planets.
You may have touched on it. To have ever existed, no. To still exist, yes.
Right. So wait.
There's different questions.
Well, right. So if what I said, we are the most to have ever existed, then there isn't a great filter. We're first, but that seems unlikely. So
no. That's incorrect. So the thing about the great filter, you asked for someone to be able to explain it, guys. I'm trying to explain it here. Okay. So the great filter is the filter that if a civilization gets to a point, they go extinct. And this could be, there's tons of different theories what it could be. It could be, for example, star goes supernova, star blows up, whatever star, we cannot leave our solar system in time. That's a possibility. Another possibility is that we'll never be able to leave our Milky Way galaxy. But some other stuff that's even more interesting is that it could be that humans won't be interested anymore in 1,000 years to try and explore. For example, if VR and AR and all those things, let's say we create the Matrix and we can live inside of our simulation, why would we still want to explore if you can explore the entire universe within, right? Anyways.
Yeah, I was headed to that before I was cut off.
Okay, wait.
No, so there is a possibility that, oh my gosh, stop it. You took the floor from me, told me I was wrong, and then I wasn't. So there is a possibility that there is no filter and that we're first, but that's improbable, right? So then we're headed to where Queb was saying that there is a filter. And what is that filter? Is that filter that you lose interest? It could be that filter is there's an aggressive society out there, and anytime they find them, they eliminate them. So it seems like there's none. And once we do make contact with someone, it's the end for us. Go on.
It's also possible that we've already passed the filter, right? So if you look back at history, the amount of mass extinctions you know, we've survived the amount of like this, you know, the whole coronavirus situation could have wiped everything out, right? I mean, it didn't, and it probably won't, but it could have been it. So it's like, did we pass it already, or are we going towards it, or are there multiple filters?
There's definitely multiple filters, right? You know, there's the zoo hypothesis, right? The galactic zoo hypothesis, and
what is this?
These are interesting conspiracy theories.
Wait, that we're a part of a zoo where they took
that there are intelligent alien life forms out there, and they just put up some sort of subspaced road sign out there that said "humans ahead, don't contact," and they're just allowing us to evolve like fucking microbes in a petri dish, and they're not going to interfere. They're just watching.
It's like that South Park where they get canceled, and you know the producers of the show, the Glorksians or whatever, are like, "Oh no, we put everything on Earth to see how it would go. You think that's how the entire universe works? No, there's a planet of deer, a planet of Asians, a planet of birds."
The planet of Asians.
That's the line was.
Everybody's just crashing into each other all day.
There's a few ways to look at it. There's a few ways to look at it. So you can say, all right, well, this is a tribe in the Amazon, and we will not lay contact with them. We just let them live and this and that. Sometimes they see a plane fly over and they're like, oh, what's that? And that's the equivalent of us humans seeing UFOs, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one possibility. The other one is that these aliens are so much smarter than humans that they'll look at us and go, what's the point of us communicating with an ant? Right?
Yeah.
What's the point? They won't ever understand us.
I hate that one. I don't buy into that one because I think that because there are tons of humans who go and study ants and spend their whole fucking life staring at ants and learning about ants. And every time I see a Reddit GIF of like a line of ants walking next to a line of termites, and all the ants are like bucked up, like, don't fuck with the ant line. And all the termites are like bucked up, like, don't you fuck with the termite line. I'm just like, fascinating. They're in a standoff while the workers carry the food and do their fucking colony shit. And then the workers are at the corner, like, don't you fuck with our shit. Don't you fuck with our shit, termite. I'm fascinated by that. So I think that no matter how advanced they are, and how inferior we are technologically, evolutionary speaking.
Kyle won me over. I was anti-Kyle at the start of that. He turned me around. I want to see some ant termite fights now.
It's cool as shit.
I'm going to defend this. I need to defend this. So now the question is, are ants able to recognize humans observing them? And I don't think so. They might see, hey, there's something there, but they might not understand what that is.
And they don't know they're part of like a David Attenborough special.
When you break out the magnifying glass and torture them, they start to get the message.
Yeah, but then they just do that cool ant thing and just reevaluate the line and keep ants are tight. Yeah, man, Kyle, that is a really good comparison. I thought
we're fascinated by those things. Like how many nature documentaries are there? When I see the one about bugs, I'm like, ooh, I like these. Like I can only watch the penguins do their shit so many times, but these ants, I don't know anything. Oh, a leaf cutter ant. What? They don't even eat the leaves? They just feed them. What? They're not eating the leaves. They're taking the leaf cuttings, putting them down in the colony and growing some sort of mold on them or something. Yeah, fungus on them. And then they eat the fungus. These are farmer ants, not leaf-eating ants. I had no idea. And
there's a lot of interesting stuff. If I see two snails fucking, which I don't think they even fuck. I think one lays eggs and the other comes around. I'm not sure. I'm like, oh, that's how they do it? I'm going to check this out. If I see two wildebeests making babies, if I saw two chickens, well, they don't fuck, but if I saw two chickens hypothetically having sex, then that would be a thing, or dolphins or whatever. Why wouldn't they check out our wars, our reproduction? Those things are inherently interesting.
I think be checking it out.
One of the things that's for sure though is like, so one of the problems with them even hiding themselves from us is there I don't remember what the scale is called, but there's this scale of like civilization levels. It's like, oh, this is a tier 1 civilization.
Is it based on how much sun energy they harness?
That's where we're ending up. It's a technological advancement scale, and up at the top is what we believe will eventually happen, and that is when they're harnessing the complete power of a star with a Dyson sphere, and the whole thing is like, we're not seeing any Dyson spheres.
So it's called the Kardashev scale. A type 1 civilization, also called a planetary civilization, can use and store all of the energy available on its planet. A type 2, called a stellar civilization, can use and control energy at the scale of its stellar system. And a type 3 civilization, also called a galactic civilization, can control energy at the scale of its entire host galaxy.
Yeah, so the idea is that
we're like level 0 then.
Yeah, we're level 0 there.
Point something. We've got solar panels.
7.
Dude, that's so dumb. That the guy who made that scale, I closed the window up at Kadushev or whatever. You could have bullshitted a couple levels below where we already achieved,
right?
so that we felt a little better about it. You know, like we don't want to come in on level 0. Like we've done shit. We should be
like Randy Marsh measuring.
We're at 0.7, guys. We're
the
almost
adjusted penis size is
the yaw.
Our
the yaw
adjusted
of the shaft.
Our adjusted Kardashev scale is a 4.7. 4.7.
We're a little 4.7 civilization.
Queb, did
So
you
if you
say
know
we're
what a Dyson
0.7? Do you
sphere
know
is-
something that, or did we
We're
just
at
sit making a joke?
0.7.
Are we really?
0.8. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, this scientist, I don't know his first name. I know his last name's Dyson. He came up with he theorized that you could completely enclose a
Encapsulate.
star in a mechanism that would take 100% of its light energy, or there are lesser ways to do it. You could just surround it with satellites, like thousands and thousands, or maybe start out with 1 and then 2 and then 3. But you'd surround the sun at close range with these satellites that are beaming the energy back to your planet. And the idea is that we're like, well, eventually that just makes sense that you would need that kind of power source, and that would be the easiest way to do it. We should be able to see those though, because we can detect gravity by the way it bends light with our radio telescopes, right?
Yeah.
So it should be almost like, in the same way we detect black holes, we should be able to detect Dyson spheres.
It would be
tough
though.
No.
Go ahead.
No. You're going into the right direction, but unless I'm wrong, we can detect the drop in light intensity. So when we look at a star, and all of a sudden, the light intensity drops because, for example, a planet goes in front of it, then we know, okay, there has a planet, it has another planet, there's another planet. But if all of a sudden a star starts dimming halfway, and it starts dimming more and then more and more and more, then we know, okay, hey, there is a possibility that there's a civilization over there which has created a Dyson sphere.
But that's just if we are literally viewing, and of course we're looking back in time because of the speed of light, but that's just in case we're looking at a partial Dyson sphere or mid-construction of a full Dyson sphere. I'm describing like a scenario in which the Dyson sphere has been there for millennia, right?
But then the gravitational waves will just pass through. The gravity just doesn't care there's a Dyson sphere there.
Everything with mass has gravity. So the Dyson sphere
so it would have an
itself
enormous
would
amount of
gravity.
mass. Not only the star's mass, but the Dyson sphere would even add to that, and it would bend the light of the stars behind it, and we could detect that. And it would also there would also be a gravitational area out there that has planets rotating it, which would be funny for them to. It would be, what are they rotating?
So what you're saying is like it would be like a black hole, but it wouldn't be as strong as a black hole. It would be like in between, just a little bit stronger than a star.
It would
be. Is this guy Dyson a scientist, or was he just like?
He's the vacuum guy.
He's the
vacuum guy.
Suck it out. You know? Have you ever experienced a $550 vacuum cleaner? Now you can say you have. You know, it's like, no, I'm gonna go ahead and buy a fucking Hoover, bitch.
Dirt devil. Yeah, that stuff's really fascinating to me. I love watching those documentaries about space, and I like going down the YouTube rabbit hole. I find that that's even more enjoyable because they're not selling you anything. There's no commercial breaks. It's just often a professor or a physicist of some kind, and he's really breaking things down on a marker board. Chicago's scary. I would hate to. I love the food in Chicago, but every time I don't know, look into the shootings there, it's the Wild West, and it just doesn't get reported. It's a scary place.
You definitely gotta not go in. Like, there's a couple neighborhoods that you just stay away from as much as possible. Just hang out by rich people. They don't get shot in Chicago.
You can listen to the police scanners of anywhere in the country. When there's websites that allow you to do this. I know, because I remember when the Boston thing happened, we were so plugged. I don't think there had ever been a news story that we were so personally injected in, because I had my laptop open with multiple police scanners going when they were looking for the last guy, when they were having like the shootout and standoff or whatever.
where one of them died by getting ran over by his brother or whatever. There's Arnaev guys. And I'm listening to all the bands, and they're like, yeah, we're going down Smith Street. Like, you can listen to them coordinate and like move in on this shooting, and like it was so cool to be that far ahead. You do that and you tune into Chicago any night of the week. Holy shit. It's rough stuff. It's every couple minutes there's something. And like, if you're a cop, it's like, I don't know, I wouldn't want to be a cop, period, but that's a war zone.
Yeah, no, it's terrifying. And when you see the murder statistics coming out of Chicago, you have to realize like 4 times as many of that were actually shot. Like, that's just the people who died from it. Like, because when you look at gun crime throughout the country and you look at the amount of gun murders versus the amount of like gun assaults, it's massively higher. And so you think about that and you're like, damn. If you were just in South Chicago for the night, just with the mic out, all you just hear is pop, 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 pop. Every couple minutes. Ugh, what a mess.
Is it that bad? Is the shooting in Chicago really that extreme? I so many times I question what I'm seeing on the news, and I don't know what the score is. Like, you can watch Fox News and they'll tell you the city of Chicago, the city of New York, they smell like urine and poop. The subways in New York are covered with human excrement, that it's this big mess, that the whole thing is terrible. And like, I've been to New York. It's not like that.
I think the US is already at around 50, or it was either 55 or 65 mass shootings. That's more than we've had days of the year.
What's a mass shooting?
Exactly. Now look, I don't like it when they call any time. Do you know the exact criteria they use?
It's different. There's multiple definitions depending on the department and depending on the level of government. Like, if you're talking state governments versus federal.
I suppose the point is that oftentimes when you hear what's considered a mass shooting, most people in the public would go, that's not my definition. I would think maybe a little bit crazier than that. That being said, that is a real indication of the amount of multiple gun shootings there are out there. This isn't an instance of like an accidental discharge or like a police related thing. This is like a gunfight or something happened, right?
Yeah. So most mass shootings that are talked about, when they do that, where there's one mass shooting a day or 2 a day or whatever it is, that's usually it involves a shooting with 4 or more victims of some sort. And it doesn't involve deaths necessarily, right? So lots of this is connected to gang and drug activities in inner cities, because you'll have multiple people who are victimized by mass shooting. And I think under some of the definitions, if someone is injured by some other thing in the course of a shooting, it counts as one of the casualties or injuries for a mass shooting. But I was looking,
makes a little sense. You're holding up 3 people, you hit one of them with the gun, you kick another one in the stomach, and she miscarries, and then you shoot 2 people. Let's say there were 5 victims to this mass shooting. You've done crazy damage here.
Let's say I'm in a bank, I shoot 1 guy, and then 3 more get hurt as they stampede out the door. Mass shooting.
It depends.
Now we're getting back to Heather Heyer, right? And my thoughts on that whole fiasco.
Oh shit.
When she had a heart attack because that man was committing that act of terrorism.
Be very careful how you talk about that one.
I phrased it pretty well, don't you think?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Yeah, James Fields.
I stayed safe.
Yeah. To give you okay, so I pulled up the crime stats from Chicago PD. This is February 6th through February 12th of this year. There were 46 shooting incidents.
That's a long time.
In a week?
A whole week? Is it a leap year?
I mean,
6 a day. 6 a day.
It's a big town.
That is a pretty bad stat.
Yeah,
it's like Honduras levels of shooting,
right? And he didn't dig into the worst week in Chicago history. This is his last
week. Yeah, over the last 28 days, it's 152.
Yeah,
which is down 4% over 2022.
Yeah,
good job.
There we go. Small victories. I'm sure that's not a statistical anomaly, and it won't surge right back.
What's the mayor there? Is she the Lightfoot lady?
Yeah,
or something Lightfoot.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't
Lori
like
Lightfoot.
I don't like to give people a hard time about their physical appearance, but
Yeah, absolutely.
Beetlejuice.
Thank you. He gets it. I mean, goodness.
She always looks so surprised.
It's like Don King and Beetlejuice had a baby, and
Zach,
they
can we please have a picture of this woman?
Oh my goodness! And
Oh
look,
my God.
and look,
Yeah,
I'll be
like
the
a
first
baby
one
with
to-
fetal alcohol syndrome.
and I'll play both sides. You can line up the governor of Arkansas, Huckabee's daughter, and that's a rough looking lady.
Always one eye on the prize, that lady.
Always one eye on the prize.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Cool.
She is.
The hair is like, was she late? Like, so
she makes me feel better.
No
about
one
my
goes
five,
out with their hair like that and is like, yeah, this is what I was going for.
She was late, but you think it's today. It was actually to the genetic lottery.
She lost the hairline lottery.
Well, that's a handsome looking fella right there.
Anyway.
She is not.
It's like one of those lizards who's looking in multiple directions at the same time.
Yeah.
Like their eyes are just kind of going.
Maybe she didn't know she was going out when they took this picture.
She's holding a microphone.
Maybe she thought she was staying home this day.
She's holding a microphone. I love that. Oh yeah, I bet they surprised her taking her garbage out. She's holding a microphone with an American flag behind her. That was her best look. They're like, all right, Miss Lightfoot, let's get you looking right. And they spent time, and that's what they came up with. Anyway, just a hard person to look at. I don't really know anything about her policies other than they seem to be ineffective. Or maybe I'm wrong, and without her there, it would have literally turned into one of those remember Escape
you
from
were
New
right
York
the first time.
where they just turned New York, Manhattan Island into like a prison.
That is true, because when she took charge of the city, like crime dropped dramatically.
Did it, Taylor?
No. No, it's actually gone up a bit.
Well, I don't know much about it. You live kind of near there. Do you? If I were you, I'd be like wandering into Chicago for a pizza. Like I would drive to Chicago and get a pizza.
Well, I mean,
like,
it's 5 hours from St. Louis. Like
that's
and
nothing for a Missourian.
That's what I'm saying. It's within like
that's nothing for a Missourian. I'll pop to the beach and back. You know, nice little day trip to South Carolina.
I do 5 hours for pizza.
I don't like deep dish that much.
All right, so Lori Lightfoot serves since 2019, right, as the mayor of Chicago.
Okay.
So this crime statistics page, it has the percentage change over the past, last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So she takes office 4 years ago. Gun shooting incidents in Chicago are up only 58% since then. Just the 58% though.
58. That's like an F. It's not that bad. It's not like 100%. You know, that would be an A+ in failure.
You'd think she would have found a way to like view the stats from a different angle or something, like not exactly cook the books, but maybe just redefine certain crimes as other crimes and like cook the stats a little.
I think they already do that, right?
Maybe they're doing that and still there's a 50% uptick. I don't know. It's scary.
Total
really,
crime is up 66%. The best one though is motor vehicle theft, which is up only 283% since she took office.
Jesus Christ. Is she like holding like stay in your homes, everyone? It's criminal party hour. Like
I was gonna say, you guys are looking at this from the wrong angle. Is the cuck liberal in the group here? You're forgetting how many free cars are in Chicago now, right? You're looking at it like a victim. Man up, get yourself a car.
Just steal one.
Just right there. It's like those scooters. It's that new city scooter program. You just open a car and you turn it on, you take it. And you leave it where you go. Use someone else's credit card to pay for it. Put it in the slot.
Mm-hmm. That's the future of commerce. All stealing. Everything is stealing. And your wealth will be decided by agility and speed rather than hard
Like
work
the
and
old
stick-to-itiveness. Yeah, like the old days of the cavemen. Whoever threw the rock the best probably got the most pussy.
You think so?
Yeah, because he would have killed this competition with his good rock throwing.
And the women would be unconscious.
You ever see?
Well, they would have been so impressed by it. Like they would have wanted to get the best genes, the best rock throwing genes, so that their sons could Yeah,
your way doesn't need an attorney.
No, my way doesn't need an attorney.
Well, it probably still does.
I love how like within just there's a little bit of having Nick on, he's like, oh, if you just have like a stats page pulled up, the way we do things here is like, that doesn't sound right, buddy. Hey, I'm giving that the old sniff test. No, I'm not looking into it. No, I won't Google it. Yeah, there's another monitor right here. I will not Google it. But it doesn't sound right to me.
That was the dark times, actually.
I kind of.
And what you didn't realize is actually 80% of the guys I was with were not cool. I was carrying the coolness for them, just so you know. It was all me, bro. Yeah, that was all me.
Sauce is all you, baby.
Yeah. It was all me.
It was all that. You had all the charisma in the room. That's why you didn't let half of the other ones talk. Their bits were just, this is Muscles glasses because he doesn't do bits or voices or anything. He just is strong.
You should have seen the first episodes where he was hosting.
Oh, wow.
We're like, I don't know if this is going to work. You should stop talking. Apparently he lives in the woods now.
Just in the woods, the general woods?
Yeah, apparently he ran away into the woods.
Oh, we were talking about people that live in the woods earlier.
Is he doing well in the woods?
Honestly, I don't know.
I bet
you guys had kind of a nasty divorce, right? You and Muscles Glasses.
One-sided. I look back at it and I'm always like, oh man, shit, 22 years old. He was 22. I'm sure with my brain now, I could have serviced him better to prevent him from making such an error. But back then, people didn't understand the overhead of YouTube. If you looked up like EpicMealTime value, it'll be like $10 million. And they look at me, they're like, you have $10 million? Give me $10 million a year. And I'm like, bro, I'm driving a fucking Nissan Sentra, you dumbass. There's not even a single million here right now.
Am I wrong about this? Like, tell me if I'm stepping out of my place here, but did it inflame it a little bit when they came to my house?
I was just about to say it's like 20% your fault. I wish the YouTube drama shit existed back then, so I'm gonna be like, don't blame me. Blame fucking FPSRussia. The guy's
what went down at your house?
He's a liar. His name's. We got there, and this guy has like 4 cars and a boat called YouTube Money. Dozens of guys hidden in the couch. He hires a guy to play the Xbox games for him. It was literally like, and they're looking at me. They're like, "Yo, this is he's got the same amount of users." So it's happening. I'm like, listen. There's 6 of you. It's 1 of him. I don't know how financially responsible that boat purchase is. It
was like a $30,000 boat.
But it was like, I left and I was like, fucking Kyle, man. Why do you have to name the boat YouTube Money?
Because you said it. It was so cool when you said it. It was funny. Yeah. I don't think I would have bought the.
Until he was like, "Where's my boat?
Where's my boat?
Where's my boat?"
I thought I was like hammering it home a little bit when you all had to share the same guest bedroom. It's like, let's so you know, guys, like we're not really balling here. Like I got a 3-bedroom house. Like there was a part where you guys were all going to bed, and I like opened the guest bedroom, and they're all in there asleep in one guest bedroom because I only have one, and they're on the floor in sleeping bags, and I go, good night, EpicMealTime. and like 2 or 3 of them go, good night, FPSRussia. And I close the door.
It's not even a joke. Like when I think about like the good times of like the internet or the experience, I'm not like, oh, when we got hooked up at the club and we did this, or like when we did, it was literally like the times when like all 3 of us would humbly sit in your extra bedroom lying on mattresses on the floor, and no one complained.
Yeah,
like they were literally, when we got back, they were like, "Oh, I want to get a house and a pool," and I'm like, "There's literally not even money for me to get a house and a pool. And if anyone's getting a house and a pool, it'll be me first. So let's not talk about that right now, okay? Get in line. You're like 4th to get house and pool." I remember things were simple back then, and I actually loved that. I was like, that was peak.
Yeah, no, all that stuff was fun. I enjoyed having White Boy at my house that summer. That was really fun to like have somebody.
White Boy was great
because he was like, we were doing the same thing more or less, but not competing against each other in any sort of way. So it was like if me and you were sharing a place, like I think we'd have tried to collab more. But if we're doing separate projects, there's a little bit of competition, a little bit. It's not like you're a gun channel. It's not like I'm slinging food.
Or like there was like something like, well, I can't upload this. I gotta wait for Kyle to upload today. I'm not gonna do it. It's like there would be, if not competition, at least like conscious maneuvers around. There would be some positive synergy for sure, more than anything.
Yeah,
but I think back on those times and I'm like, man, like it was people like we were lying a lot, like in terms of the success of it. Like I moved and acted like we were making the money that like Logan Paul makes right now, and that's not what the financial scenario was at the time. But like I think about like the poor dudes that left, like Muscles and Tyler, and I'm like, bro, not the time. You should have stuck around for like 3 or 4 more years. Even Josh, who was on the show for 3-4 years after Alex and Tyler, like he ended up on the TV show. He ended up getting his a hosting job on his own TV show because of that. I mean, he's making.
I think Tyler went and did like. Didn't Tyler go do some kind of rap battle thing or something?
He may have. I mean, like not as a career or anything. He may have been involved in something.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw him at a rap battle.
Move.
Oh yeah, we did go to a lot of that.
yeah. I think he was into it. I know.
Yeah.
What was he an okay guy? I know you and Muscles' glasses fell apart, but I always liked Muscles. I don't know if you like me.
I think Muscles was like at the time, and apparently he's different now, but I don't know him now at all. But it was just something that I heard like when I spoke with Tyler a couple years ago, was that he's started like neither of those guys smoked the weed. They kind of smoked the weed and mellowed out a whole bunch since then. I mean, probably like 27 probably hits hard when it's like 5 years later and like EpicMealTime has like the TV show coming out. And you're like, maybe I left a bad time to just go and not do anything really.
It's just such a fun thing, like to pal around with you and do that thing,
bro. Muscles glasses, literally, I only asked like 1 day a week from him, 1 2-hour day. He had to come and he was the only guy on the team. And like, this was like what was hard for me to balance this out was like, I had to explain to like guys like Dave, Josh, and Amir, who were hardworking guys. I had to explain to them like why Alex can come in 4 hours after them when the food is done, eat a bunch of bacon, and then leave and go to university to take classes that I literally was paying for because it was something we worked out. And they're like, why doesn't he clean? And I'm like, because he's the guy. We made him the guy. We thought it was fun and funny, but now he's the guy. And negotiation-wise, like I don't have the money that he thinks I do to do this. And I'm not foolish with the money. So like he just doesn't have to clean up. We clean up. And they got it. They were workers. Like they understood that. But someone who was closer to him, like Tyler, I think that was like harder to swallow because like they were the same age. They were best friends. They both didn't have a real job at this point in their life. So it was like, I look back and I'm like, oh, I didn't have the right leadership skills to explain this properly. I was also stressing. And like when they came up to me, like sometimes people would come up to me and be like we were at your house sharing a guest bedroom, right? 3 of us in a room. Well, then we moved to LA and we literally stayed in Ludacris's old house, which was the rent was $45,000 per month. And we didn't pay that. We split that with a company. A company paid most of that. We just stayed there. And like what happened was when we were there, like we each had a room. And like one of the rooms was a closet. But when I say it's a closet, the closet was like 20 feet by 20 feet.
Okay.
And there's no clothes in there because it was a rented house. But like, so he has a 20 foot by 20 foot space and it's connected to a bedroom and there's a bathroom in there. It's a private bathroom. You can close the door to whatever.
The lap of luxury.
Yeah. Some people like had like more, but like when I say this had like a 20 by 20 like room with no closet that he slept in. I should also mention that this place had 2 saunas, a pool, a movie theater. I'm not even exaggerating. You can look up this house. It's 1659 Marley Drive or 1600 Marley Drive. If you go Marley Drive, it's behind Chateau Marmont in LA. If you look at like the Cloud House or these houses that they have now that these YouTubers do, like these are the houses, but this was like a far superior one because it had like the gym, the sauna, the theater. And it's like, you want to be a rapper? You want to be a rapper? but you're unhappy with the setup here.
Jeez.
Well, what would you do on tour in a tour bus? Like, artists that go on tour in a tour bus have less than a 20 by 20 space. We knew artists. They had little fucking pods on their bus. And like, you know, this wasn't enough for them, but that was I look back and I'm not like, he's an idiot. Because he was probably smarter than I was at that age. But I'm just like, oh, my lack of leadership skills to really explain to him in a good way that this was an opportunity is something that I failed. And I say that because you knew Tyler, Kyle. I mean, I can't say much for Muscles. We kind of like, we all joked because we thought it was funny that Muscles Glasses was Muscles Glasses. Because we're like, I can't believe Alex is like, everyone's so hyped about him. It's Alex. Like, he's eating bacon. Like, Alex eating bacon is like the hypest shit. Like, we found that funny. But like, Tyler was and is like genuinely a very funny person. Like, that's a guy like, outside of Epic Mealtime, hang around him. Like, you'll laugh. If you look back at old Epic Mealtime episodes, like the things that he does on camera, you laugh. He's a funny guy. But, you know, if like, I mean, my ego was bad at like 27. If I had that ego in that scenario at 22, like I would have really fucked up. I would have fucked up a lot. If I were in your position, Kyle, even just by myself, like I would have fucked up. Like, you know, you pushed the envelope, you went like further, you didn't have like the team. I mean, like you had one kitty, which is worth like a dozen normal men. But like,
he pushed the envelope, but it was an envelope that was pushed to him that did the damage. In the
end. No, it was
because of the drugs.
Right.
No, I never I don't know. Like I never wanted to be too crazy frivolous with money. I immediately bought a new car. And then me and my dad immediately, like I was like, Dad, I'm gonna buy a truck. Do you want to buy a truck with me? Let's just buy a whole truck. And then we quickly realized that you can't buy half a truck. So I had to get a check from Father, and then it was his whole truck. You can't both put $20,000 into a thing, because then one person gets mad about how the other person uses it. So just write me a check and we'll be fine. So we got that sorted out right away. But yeah, and then I bought that boat. That boat was not supposed to be a frivolous purchase. That was supposed to be a smart idea. But I got like, this happens to me sometimes. I get swept up in like the idea that we're going to do a thing. So, and I won't let anything get in my way. It's like, look, I said I was going to do a thing. Oh, now Alex is out and we can't get a house. I'll get a fucking boat. Like, it's like, wait a minute. Who am I trying to beat? There's no one to beat here. There's no competition. It's just us. It's just me. I could sit here and do nothing, or just fucking take $30,000 more out of the bank and buy the house. That's what I should have fucking done. I don't know why I didn't just do that.
So I personally did not join any gangs. The Talladega medium high security had a lot of independents. So you have cars, which is basically a gang of people that aren't in a gang.
Yeah, it's like an Oz, the weird people. Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, you got the cliques that stick together, but then cars are also divided by region, like the North Mississippi car, the Mississippi car as a whole. You know, like I was from Mississippi and I'm in prison in Alabama. I'm technically already in the Mississippi car, but Talladega had a lot of independents in that car, and so basically what you do is you go to the guy that is the shot caller for the independents. They don't really need a shot caller because they don't do anything. The independents don't start any bullshit. Show him your paperwork. I'm not a snitch. I'm not a sex offender. Whatever. He says, okay, cool. Here's where we sit in the chow hall. Make sure you're riding with us. And then if you do have any problems, for example, one time I went to buy stamps from a gang member and he tried to short me about $20 worth of stamps. Instead of me handling that and getting killed by all of them, I went and talked to my shot caller. He went and talked to their shot caller. They got me the money. The dude fessed up, was like, yeah, okay, I tried to, I miscounted. It was an accident. They gave me the money. No problems. No issues happened. And that's essentially, as far as the protection went. You just can't really haul off and go fight somebody on your own terms, because if they're in a gang, then they can all focus on you. And then I don't have anybody, you know, that's got my back. Now it's 250 people versus me, and I'm obviously going to die. My kidney's going to be on the floor or whatever. So no, I didn't have to join a gang. I'm not affiliated with any gang. I did not bang like I was tough in there. I don't try to, you know, talk tough out here. I kept my head down, played guitar, spent an unfortunate amount of time getting high the first time that I was locked up. And minded my business, man. I did not ever feel the need for protection or anything.
Were there any? It seems like most of the fights you got in were in the cell itself. Were there any big brawls you were a part of, like in the main area or anything, or did you steer clear of that sort of thing?
No, I didn't get involved in any brawls, but there were a couple of them. One time, do I say gang names? One time there was a gang from Southern California that's primarily Hispanic. They got into it with the Puerto Ricans at our prison, and that shit was wild. I think like 40 dudes went to the shoe. I'm pretty sure they had to go put a bunch of people in the shoe at the camp or something like that. No, y'all come to ours, don't you? They had to move them somewhere else because there were so many people. It was like 28 Puerto Ricans and like 20 Mexicans, like just an absolute mob of people because they were playing soccer up on the soccer pitch, right in full view of the sniper hill over there, directly across from the soccer pitch. Kyle, could y'all see the sniper hill from where y'all were? The big dirt hill with the truck on top of it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I guess you guys were a little farther. I had a vague direction of where y'all were from us, but I wasn't sure exactly where it was.
Yeah, it's just over there.
Yeah,
although, like,
they
when
say
I
the
checked
camp's
in,
over
I go
there.
up there. Yeah, like when I checked in, I there's only one X-ray machine and it's up there. So like,
right.
That processing part.
The sniper tower hill, whatever you want to call it, overlooks like a softball field and then the soccer field. And dude, I saw a Puerto Rican dude like single-handedly take out 3 of these Hispanic dudes. Holy shit! Like, I mean, they didn't bring out knives; they kept it skins. Like, all they did was just beat the shit out of each other. When I say they beat the shit out of each other, the way that white Crip stopped on me, they didn't have any of that stopping bullshit. They had no bitch in their blood, as they would have said, because I saw this dude. I'll just call him Bodie because that's like the name for Puerto Ricans, Bodie, Boricua, and man, he turned around and elbowed a dude in the jaw. He went spinning. It looked like an action movie. Like, you know how an action movie is like, it looks like a hard hit, but realistically, they wouldn't just fall on the floor and just like be dead like that. Yeah. This guy was actually like straight murdering these guys. Like, he spun around and threw an elbow into this dude's jaw. And I mean, like, it knocked his eyebrows to the back of his neck. And he spun a pirouette 360 and just fell on the ground and stopped. I mean, just like, like, it was just like a movie. Like, I knew it was a hard hit, don't get me wrong, but this dude, I rolled
and
back.
then he moved on to the other 2.
Right. Yeah. There was another dude running at him, and I still remember this dude's nickname because I was actually kind of friends with this dude, and I didn't know that he either cannot fight or he can't fight nearly as good as this Puerto Rican dude can. And he came running up, and they actually he got a swing or two, and I'm telling you, this Puerto Rican dude was dumpy, bro. He looked like a dumpling, like shapeless. He looked like a thumb, like he wasn't in any kind of good shape. You know, big toe looking ass dude. He wasn't muscular or nothing. He was kind of blobby. And he was so swift, dude. This Mexican came over there and started throwing bows at him, and he was I mean,
he was so swift.
Hey, the dude was missing his front 2 teeth. He was moving so fast I could have heard the shit whistling, bro. This dude he's bobbing and weaving on his ass, and he pelted this dude in the face like 4 times, and he went down. He fell on his ass first, and then he kind of flopped to the side. And 100%, I saw it in slow motion. He got hit like 3 or 4 times, like that Kevin Hart joke with the Kevin. He hit me twice. I'm fighting octopus. You remember that?
Yeah.
He gets dinked, and I see the surprise on his face. He gets dinked again and falls on his ass, and I saw the look on his face. Play possum. And he just flopped over. He just flopped over the side. He's like, I ain't ready for Bodie. And then he went on to the next guy, and I'm really happy that none of them pulled out knives because this particular gang, I think, has a rule about carrying knives with them pretty much everywhere. But nobody got slaughtered that I know of. But I know it was a shit show in that shoe trying to keep those guys separated from each other because we could hear them hooting and hollering all the way to the hole. They'd bring a Puerto Rican, and 10 steps behind them, they'd bring a Mexican. And they'd be, pinche loco, vato, yo tengo una pinche cuchara aquí, vato. Like, they were shit talking to each other all the way to the shoe. Just like saying, like, I hope they put us in the same cell. And
what
shit
does
like
the
that.
loser say? Hey, I'm almost 1/3 as tough as you.
Yeah, wall hack.
I'm 28% as tough as that guy. The swiftest fat guy you've ever seen.
That's the best thing, though, is that y'all know the Mexicans were the ones that were doing all the woofing because they were the ones that just got steamrolled. You know, the Puerto Ricans didn't have shit else to say. They were like, we did it. We handled that business. And I don't know where they trained this dumpy Puerto Rican dude. Let me tell you, man, he was McGregor's understudy or something. This dude pieced them up. And I'm totally positive the second guy went down just to like, you know what? I got my ass kicked enough for them to know that I was involved. I'm just going to lay here now.
Right.
I'm good. I don't have to take that anymore.
I can show my missing tooth in case they say you didn't fight hard enough. So like, it's all the Mexicans and all the Puerto Ricans are fighting are like all the white and black guys. Like, man, this is wild. Just watching.
Back up. Get out of
so
the
it's
way.
all the white and black guys are just watching a Mexican versus Puerto Rican
back
fight.
up and hit the dirt. You back up and take a knee. You back up is far enough to be safe, and then you take a knee because you already know they're going to tell you to anyway. So
was
you're just
anybody
basically sitting there like, I hope they don't notice this for a while, but of course, within 10 seconds, all units respond to the rec yard. All units respond to the rec yard. Situation in play. Inmates on the ground. Code red. Inmates on the ground. And then we're all laying on the ground like looking up from the dirt down here like, hey, did you see Bodie? Hey, Bodie took out 3 of them. Damn.
Is it like all the white and black guys? Are they like cheering certain sides and like, oh, that's a huge hit. Like
I wouldn't
it's a
say
UFC
cheering,
fight.
but there's the oohs, you know, like the collective ooh. Like when that dude caught that elbow that twisted his neck all the way around, like I'm pretty sure that every single eyeball was on that fight out of all the fights, and he got domed in front of the whole fucking prison. Everybody you hear just the worst thock noise, just a and just ooh.
You know what I've always thought.
But no, man, overall, I got really lucky with my cellmates. When I first got to Talladega, fresh off the bus from prison, they put me in a cell with two very large, muscular black dudes. Did not care. I was cool with that. The white dudes came in the cell and they said, hey, we know you're new to prison or whatever. They could already tell because I said, yes, I don't care. They asked you, are you okay with selling outside of your race? To which I said, I don't care. I didn't know I was supposed to say no, don't sell me outside of my race. Mm-hmm. And they were like, look, we're not like trying to put you in a gang or nothing, man, but there's certain ways that things work in prison and we can't have you in here with these black dudes. Like, you're all good, man, but there's a cell that's over here with this Puerto Rican and this Mexican dude, and you should probably move over there. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not trying to join your gang or nothing. They're like, no, we know. This is how it works in prison. They were cool about it. They just said, something happens with a black dude and a white dude in a cell. It looks bad on everybody. We just don't do that here. So they put me in a cell with a Puerto Rican and a Mexican dude.
So you didn't have to be with a white guy. You just couldn't be with a black guy.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they didn't care if who I celled with as long as it wasn't black dudes is what their perspective on it was. So they moved me into a cell with a Puerto Rican that racked up $900 bill in debt money for drugs and checked into the shoe, self-submitted to the shoe, checked in with a bunch of debt. And a Mexican that later we found out was snitching on everybody and was telling on people in the units where they were hiding the wine and stuff like that. So they moved me out of a cell with two black dudes that did all their time, went home in good standing from the prison rec yard, didn't check in, no issues, nothing like that. And they moved me into a cell that's supposed to be better for the white guys or whatever, where this dude's a rat and a check-in. Like, what the fuck?